Okay, and here we begin with episode number 2. In the beginning of this episode, as following into the last one, you guys were checking the transport. You were checking the bodies of the remaining miners. Skag himself was kind of recovering from his trip to the dark side or the light side, whichever way Skag goes.
Definitely dark side.
As he pretty much was as close to being dead as one could be. When you last heard the howls from the northern above ridges, where you're hearing guttural sounds and growling, from essentially which would be behind you, but it's definitely up on the ridge. You don't have any kind of visual up there. It's probably about maybe 60 or 70 feet of an incline. So whatever is the sound is coming from beyond that. You do get the sense that it's getting closer and closer though to you. What did you guys want to do?
I ready my gun by my side, and I just kind of look into the darkness to see if I could spot anything.
Well, there is no
look
darkness.
in or approaching.
There is no darkness. Remember, this is.
This is day.
Yeah,
That's right.
We're in the day.
All right, then I'm still doing that, but it's just daytime.
Well, I am completely out of exhaust from the last fight, so I would like to activate Mirage so I can go basically stealth, but I have 0 exhaust, which costs 0 exhaust, and then basically just pass.
Okay.
Go invisible and try to recover.
You're stating that you have 0 exhaust currently. You're at 0.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's where we ended the last fight.
You can do any ability, any skill. Because if you're at 0, you can't do anything. So you can do anything. It just comes at the cost of vitality points.
Okay. Well, my Mirage costs 0 exhaust, so could I?
Oh, okay, yeah. If it's at a 0 cost, then you can always do it. Yeah. If
So
there is
Mirage,
an exhaust cost, just know that it costs
right.
vitality.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I can use basically my health. So I'll just stealth, and then I'm going to be passing and not doing anything for now.
Okay. And Skag?
Yeah, I'm gonna heal myself.
Okay.
Like 100%. Like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm only at 1 vitality, so.
Right. You're 1 vitality, 11 exhaust, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So what are you using?
I think I'm gonna do secondary heal.
Okay. So you get that's 1/2 your vitality points back.
Yeah. Now, do I have to roll for that?
No. So whatever your vitality points. Wait. Read what it says.
Well, I have to find it.
I think it just might be a D6 cost.
Yeah. It says
3d6?
restore to 3d6. Yeah.
Okay. Then go ahead and just roll 3d6 and you get that back.
So just roll a 6.
3 times.
Oh, 3 times. Okay. I was wondering where that 3 was coming from.
That's why I gave you. That's why I gave you a bunch of D6s.
4 and 1.
Okay. So whatever the total is.
2, 4, 1, which would be 7.
7. Okay. So you get 7 back. So it puts you at 8.
Okay.
Okay. I mean that's something. That's something, right?
Better than 1.
And make sure that you minus off the 1 exhaust for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I don't move and don't use a bonus skill, does that mean I get 2 exhaust back this turn? Is that correct? Or is it just 1 exhaust for not using?
You use the Mirage, which is what? Is that a main?
0.
No, it's a main or it's a bonus?
Sorry, it's a main.
Okay, so if you're going to pass the bonus, then you're going to get 1 exhaust back.
I get 1 exhaust back. Okay, cool.
But I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that you get something. You get more back if you're in Mirage.
Attacks against Jackal at a disadvantage. While in Mirage, all naturally restored exhaust increased by 1. You're right, so I get 2 back.
So you get 2 back.
Cool.
Okay,
awesome.
And then Otis is just essentially at the ready
guard
for whatever comes up. So if that is the case, just know that you'll actually always get an attack opportunity because you're readied, and you didn't spend anything else on that. That would have been your main. You can use a bonus, though.
I'm going to pass on the bonus.
Okay, so you can just get 1 exhaust back for yourself, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, as Burger, I need to call you Otis. As Otis stands at the ready with his gun, Rev essentially goes into a mirage, disappears completely. As far as you guys know, at this point, that's just kind of what Rev does. He's done enough, at least in the past day or so that you guys have known him. Skag, you're just taking a salve. You're just trying to get yourself together, kind of patching yourself up, dusting yourself off. When in the distance, you believe you can see a trail of dust and sand billowing up in the far southern distance below you. So what you guys would be on would be like a mesa plateau. There is the rise above you, which you initially came up and down to, and then there's another peak valley where ahead of you to the north you would see the mining shaft that initially was there, right? And in the farther western distance you can see a billowing like a dust train that is kind of coming your way, and you can start to hear faintly screams, shoutings, chanting. Burger, go ahead and roll awareness for me if you could, please.
3.
It's a D20.
Well, then I'm an idiot. Here we go. That's 14.
Okay, 14. You know
Yep.
well enough that you can hear essentially motor parts, that these sound like hover trikes, motor tracks that might be coming this way.
Okay.
And in regards to previously, also notice that the group of gun reavers that were ahead of you have essentially vanished, as long as with the other guy that was the remaining, who was still there and got away.
Yeah, there was like 4 that got away.
Right.
Is
there
that
was
right?
There was one who disappeared right in front of you during the fight, and then there was the 3 that were ahead that Otis himself was watching, and they have essentially disappeared as well.
Okay.
Guys, there's somebody else is coming. Something's coming. I could hear it. I could feel it. And I want to take the scope of my gun and kind of use it as a one-eyed scope, I guess, and look into the distance some.
You're just gonna try to get a beat on these guys with the scope. Okay.
Yep. Not aiming, just
right. You're just trying
looking.
to get a beat and get an eye. Go ahead, Rev.
What direction are they in again?
They would be to the west.
And that's where I'm looking.
Yeah. To the southeast was the growl that was above
Okay.
you. To the north was the camp and the mining shaft that you were going to in the beginning, and then off to the west you can see this dust trail that is just kind of making a beeline, at least in your direction.
Okay. While he's looking southwest towards the train, I want to look, or whichever direction the train is, I'm going to, while stealth, go check the other direction to see where these growls are coming from. So I'm going to kind of sneak off in that direction.
Okay. And Skag, what do you want to do?
I think I just need to rest still. I'm recovering, man.
Okay.
I died like 10 times over.
Okay. What you do see is that Otis seems to go prone, and he's getting a beat, and he's taking a look. That he does tell you, and you do hear him say that there could be something that is coming his way. You just kind of take a quick glance at him. You know that he's trying to get a lookout, playing Overwatch, and trying to see what's going on. You have no idea at this point, other than you can hear footsteps, and you can see
footsteps.
Foot impressions in the dirt next to you that kind of trail off and behind you, and I'm just to assume that you can probably guess that might have been Rev who had walked by you. Okay. In regards to what you see, Otis, is you see essentially a dust cloud that is coming your way, and as you kind of get a beat and they start to emerge from the dust cloud, you see about a group of 10 hover trike groups of raiders. They're making their way towards you. They're they're a bunch of guys that you know to be scavengers, raiders. They don't take any care in the world other than their own. They actually even don't care for themselves muchly. They will take and rape and pillage anybody and anything in order to get ahead. They are like the literal vagabonds and scourge of usually these Western wastes themselves. They wear big masks on the fronts that are painted in different assorted colors. Something that's very tribal. They wear big, heavy, like metal shoulder pads that have spikes and such on them. Some people are just wearing tattered clothes. Some are just, loincloths or shorts, just bare-chested. They all carry calarium-bladed sticks that almost, for you in a real-world idea, they might even look like hockey sticks to you, as they're kind of curved a bit at the end. And they're used like shillelaghs to bludgeon, to slice, to cut through. But mostly you do notice that they're either titanium or calarium based. These are very hard metal. They're very sharp. They're not cheaply made, even though they're attached to something that is relatively wastelandish themselves. They get their motor trikes and their motorbikes from wherever they can steal them. And they're just relatively just screaming and chanting, and you think, because they seem to be coming your way, that they probably heard the gunshots themselves, and like scavengers and vultures, they're trying to see what they can pick up on afterwards and stuff like that. You do know from your experience they are not to be messed with at all.
All right. So, in seeing this, I want to grab a smoke grenade off my belt. Skag! You gotta clean yourself up and let's get going, man. We gotta hide. And I want to take the smoke grenade and like throw it as far as I could, in the not towards them, but like angled from behind me, if that makes sense. So we're looking west. I'm saying towards the south, or what? No, towards the billowing hut, the chimney, wherever the chimney or the smoke where it's coming from.
Boom! 360 grenade. Who knows?
You're talking about the dust cloud that's coming your way. So towards them is what you're saying. Okay. Yep. So obviously you're not going to be able to get it completely out to them. No. They're still probably like 100, 200 yards
I'm trying
away.
To use it as a way to attract them.
Gotcha.
Like a distraction.
A little bit of a distraction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you go ahead and you just pull the pin on one of the grenades, hit the little button, give it a toss. You probably get it out maybe like at best 40, 50 feet in front of you on a good toss. And with that, the smoke starts to billow and burn and starts to create essentially a smoke diversion or a wall between you and them. It's going to take about 30 seconds for the smoke to fully obscure their visions and stuff like that. But you do see, I'm guessing you're still keeping a beat on them through your scope, that they start, they do kind of see it, and they start to turn your way.
Oh, my way.
Well, you said that you were throwing it towards them.
Yeah. Well, all right. So as a move, I want to start looking.
Yeah, are you trying to toss and
cover
move?
Or something?
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Where are you?
That would
where are you
be
trying to move to? There are some like large boulders and rocks that are behind you, up towards the
I want
way
to look
that
for the
Rev went.
Well, I want to find the biggest boulder I could.
Okay.
And get behind there.
Oh shit! Not a problem. Okay.
Obviously, giving up advantage, but
right, absolutely.
That's fine.
Skag, what are you gonna do?
So they're coming towards. Wait, they're coming towards us.
They're coming. They're coming.
Because you're actually not doing anything. This is just information you're getting from Otis.
Yeah, of course. So they're coming. I'm assuming at that point then.
Well, so yeah,
the question.
Yeah, from our role playing perspective, all he said to you was they're coming. He didn't tell you what they were.
Okay. So then what I'm going to do is just immediately drop to prone status and try to cover my body because there's sand all over, right?
No, this isn't like a desert or anything. This is a wasteland.
I have a totally different concept in my head. I'm thinking like Red Faction guerrilla style, like mining camp where there's just nothing but red sand like everywhere.
No.
So, okay. Well, then I'm gonna go get behind a boulder too and prepare my guns.
Okay.
Good. Think we
While
need
that
that.
while that
Teamwork.
happens, Rev, go ahead and roll awareness for me, a d20.
Okay. D20. Okay. And my awareness is has a 3 next to it. I don't know if that
No,
changes anything.
that's just for your reaction modifier.
Okay. I just rolled a 1 out of a D20.
Ooh.
Okay. So
Ooh.
as you
That
kind of go into your mirage state and you start to journey up the incline and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
you do, interesting enough, even for a cyborg, you really feel the weariness and the tiredness of the fight before you kind of take effect. It starts to really kind of wear even psychologically in your mind, which is still completely intact.
Mm-hmm.
So that is not some kind of cybernetic process or anything like that. That is a real human brain. And it really kind of like you feel worn down for the very first time in a very, very long time. You didn't expect that the last fight would take so much out of you,
Mm-hmm.
nor even just remotely for a very long time that you haven't actually traveled with other people. The stresses of trying to maintain a team kind of wears on you, and you kind of stumble and fall actually as you're trying to get up.
Mm-hmm.
You do kind of hear mumbling and a murmuring during this time as your head starts to cloud up. That was Otis and Skag talking to each other and yelling out. You cannot make heads or tails what they said. You can't even
Mhm.
really ascertain if that was even them talking or it's just something that you're just hearing because you're so exhausted. As you're trying to kind of pull yourself together and you kind of sit down, the growl gets larger and stronger, and you can almost feel like it's just reverberating through your very circuits itself. You can't seem to get a beat on where exactly now it's coming from. You feel almost a bit disoriented and confused, and you know
Okay.
you just need to like stop and just kind of breathe for a second here, pull yourself together before you can
Mhm.
kind of do anything. For you two guys, you continue to see the dust group and the dust trail get bigger and bigger as they start to fan out. They were kind of riding in almost a V-shaped triangle, and now as they're enclosing on the smoke bomb that was put down, you kind of just see them fan out. And
Like they're going around the smoke.
yes, almost like encircling it.
The smoke bomb didn't work. They just went around.
No, they begin to encircle it to find out exactly what was going on. They do know that these kind of things, and I will say this for you guys just for further knowledge, is a lot of people do not carry that kind of stuff out here. So usually when they see something like that, they know that it's either mercs, which would be you guys, or it's other kind of like security officials or details and stuff like that. And they know that for stuff like that, the picking is good usually. What you thought was going to be a diversion has merely just brought the vultures directly to you, right to your doorstep. Okay, Rev, as
Mhm.
as you kind of pull yourself together,
Mhm.
you kind of catch your breath, you start to get focus here. You just happen to turn, look down, it's probably maybe like 40, 50 feet in front of you, where you see Skag and Otis kind of scurry around a large boulder that was at the bottom that you had climbed up.
Mhm.
You do also notice that there's a billowing grayish smoke that is coming up from below the edge of the plateau, from the valley below you, and you can now feel almost heavy breathing on your back.
Oh, great. Okay. So Well, I'm still stealthed, right? So
You're still stealth, exactly.
even though I can't hear or say anything, I even though I'm stealth, I have a feeling that if there's some sort of animal around me, they could smell or hear or something. So I got to get into like super, I just stop moving and try to get a feel of my surroundings to try to
Okay.
see what is coming up on me.
Okay. Otis and Skag, go ahead and both roll awarenesses for me, please.
That's a 20?
Yeah, the D20. Do you guys have awareness?
No.
Okay, if you do
I
not have
rolled-
awareness, make sure that
I
you
do.
roll them. Okay, if you do, just roll it normal. Otis, roll it at a disadvantage, so roll twice, take the lowest number.
4.
Do I just roll once?
Yeah, you just roll once, normal.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. Your focus is both on what is in front of you, getting
What's in front of us?
and some obviously the group of raiders coming your way.
Okay.
Boulder. Duh.
The boulder itself, getting cover and trying to stay quiet. You have,
Okay.
for some reason or another, you have no idea that moving from above you, that you've almost forgotten all about that guttural sound because it almost kind of stopped. You don't even hear the heavy breathing as about 30 to 40 feet away from you, right above Rev, where Rev is, but you can obviously see it, is a gigantic pit feral that is searching for its next meal. In regards to what those are, they're essentially bipedal, almost wolf-like creatures that stand about 9 to 10
Like a
feet
coyote.
tall,
Oh.
almost like a coyote or a werewolf or something like that. That you
What
would
kind
look.
of diet do they have though?
They are carnivorous.
Well, I asked because Rev is a cyber jackal. Wouldn't that mean he's mainly metal? So wouldn't the creature leave him alone? Or is it like a pit bull that'll attack a car too? Just doesn't care.
Well, he's
Well,
like 9
there's-
feet tall, so
Yeah.
I haven't replaced
He
every piece of
kills
flesh
shit.
with metal,
Right.
so he
Right.
could probably smell the sweat that I'm sweating.
Oh, I thought it was all metal. That's why I was like, oh,
No.
Rev's safe.
Yeah, he is 100%. He's not all
It's-
metal or anything
Okay.
like that. They said about that they have long flowing mane that goes down their back. They usually move in packs, but sometimes they'll fight and hunt solo. And you do notice that, well, you wouldn't have noticed at that point, that they have very, very large red, like bloodshot eyes almost. The closest thing would be to just like bipedal wolves.
what the fuck are these?
Though you remember, both of you did not see that.
Okay.
Have I seen it yet? Have I finally
I'm to
figured
assume
out?
I'm to assume that you pulled yourself together at least to turn around. To kind, you said that you wanted to kind of figure
Okay.
out what was going on.
Yeah. Okay.
And because you are miraged, it doesn't exactly. It can't see you.
Right.
You know. So that's essentially what you're seeing, as this thing is just kind of like in this gray, heavy fur, kind of like stands up on 2 feet and then kind of goes back down. And when it comes back down, obviously some of the rocks start to shift and start to tumble down, and he starts to give and slide, and it just feels like he's literally like that far away from you with no idea that you're there, but you can start hearing him start to ever so slightly like sniff the air, like he knows something is there. But you don't know if he's really just sniffing the two guys below who have no idea what's going on with their backs turned to you.
That
gosh.
guy. I don't know
This
which.
is-
It's I can see both angles on my webcam here. I don't know which side I'm actually like trying to point to.
Oh man, I'm kind of at a loss for what I do because this thing's like double my height here.
Yes.
So
I feel like we have our thumb in our ass, so we're just sitting here.
yeah.
I guess just trying to get what to do.
Yeah,
we don't even know.
I feel like I want to let Otis and Skag know, but I know that if I make any noise, this thing's gonna hear me because we're right next to each other.
Mhm.
So I feel like I almost want to see if I can get around behind it so that I can almost prepare to backstab the thing depending on where it moves. So
Right.
I want to just stealthily get behind the thing so that I can get the drop on this. What do you call it? What is it called?
A pit ferrule.
A pit ferrule. I want to kind of see if I can stealthily get behind the pit ferrule so I can basically track it, or if nothing else, maybe distract it by leading it away from Skag and Otis.
Okay, so what you want to try to do is you want to try to stealthily move away from him and get out of his.
Right. Yes.
direction.
Kind of move to the side and behind him if I can, so I can try to either distract him
Okay,
or get the drop
so,
on him.
So go ahead and roll a sneak. Because you're a mirage, I'm going to give you an advantage. So just go
Okay.
ahead and just roll it twice and take the highest number, please.
Is that a D20
D20.
or? Okay. All right. 15 and 16. So 16 was my
15,
highest.
16. Okay. So even in this moment, and this is probably maybe even you've been in very stressful moments before, but you haven't actually come across a pit ferrule ever.
Mm-hmm.
You actually are able to keep yourself composed enough, and maybe it's just because you're steeled focus as a cyber jackal that you become almost light as a feather as you kind of move and pivot yourself around and try to get out of his way, being ever so gently, not to shift any of the rocks or the dirt or anything like that that would actually give something away. You do even halter your breath to make sure that you're not giving anything away as you kind of slide off to the side. And you would be, as you kind of stand up, you're actually right next to it. Now it's down on 4 feet. It's almost chin high, even at 4 feet for you. I'm sorry, even on four legs.
Mm-hmm.
You do also notice that Skag and Otis are pretty much like at the ready as you kind of see him he kind of like shifts side to side like he thinks something has moved, but then he just kind of shakes it off and he's almost in a predatorial stalk of the two gentlemen that are below you who have no idea what is going on. And the screeches and the screams of these band of insane raiders and crazed raiders, as you can hear that the bikes and the motors have stopped, and you're guessing that they're checking out exactly what's going on in the surrounding areas there.
Okay. Do I, when I'm moving around, am I getting any exhaust? Are these like turns where I'm getting exhaust back or no?
No, since you're really not doing anything, you can take 2.
Okay, so I can.
You're really not doing anything.
Right, I'm not doing any actions. I'm
Yeah,
mainly
you're just moving
okay.
out of the way.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Okay, Skag and Otis, what are you guys are doing?
So what's behind us if we were to start walking backwards?
It would be a incline up.
And that's
Up to the top of the ridge.
where they are.
Where you
That spot would be.
where you thought that Rev was going to go. Though you haven't heard from Rev in probably 35, 45 seconds.
Hey,
So,
you know what we could do?
What?
Could ambush them. If you get up on top of the ridge and use your scope, you could try to take them out when they come towards us. I stay behind the boulder, and when they get too close,
You want to know
pop
something?
out and ambush.
I just thought of that too.
I thought of it first, but okay, leader.
All right. So I'm going to scurry up the ridge, and that's move. And I guess, can I get up the ridge in one turn and like go prone,
so
or
you want to just get up and scurry up the ridge behind you?
if it's possible, yeah.
Sure. Go ahead and
Okay.
stand up and you turn around.
Yep.
And you're face to face with that gigantic pit ferrule.
Ah, and
So you see what you see is the red-eyed bipedal wolf that it was on 4 and now kind of raises itself up onto 2 feet. It being on an incline already, it looks like it's 15 feet to you at that point. In regards to just the stress that you guys are under, this thing is pretty gigantic and menacing. It starts to show its fangs, and you can see every time that it drips, it looks like whatever is coming off his fangs and drops to the ground. Kind of, there's a little bit of smoke and condensation that kind of spills up. You don't know. Maybe it's just the heat. Maybe it's just your mind. Maybe it's just everything. But it seems like those are just like things are dipped in volcanic magma.
I growl back at him.
And I'm just right behind this thing because I've been stalking him. Is this a big furry thing? Does he like have fur all over him and stuff like that?
Right.
No, Otis
yes.
isn't that furry. He's just crazy.
Yes.
I meant the okay. So I would like to stealthily take out my Zippo lighter and set his tail on fire. Can I do that with him?
There's no tail or anything like that.
Okay. Can I
he
just
does
set
have,
his fur on fire?
He does have a very, very long, flowing, heavy tuft of mane that kind of goes all the way down to his back. That's almost kind of blazing red.
I would like to set his mane on fire.
Okay.
With my Zippo lighter.
Just go and roll a simple attack against him.
Okay. Is that a D6?
There's just a D6.
Right.
There's a D6?
Yeah, I'll give it to you at advantage as well because he has no idea you're there.
Okay, so D6 at advantage.
So there's to be a leader.
I just rolled a 6.
Okay. As you see below you, as you're stalking this and getting around him, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this large beast just gets up on its hind legs, and as you look down at the bottom, you see that Otis is there just doing some kind of craziness, which at this point doesn't seem to even surprise you at all. You're just kind of like,
It's a great distraction.
yeah.
Getting the attention of this thing.
You do notice that even though it feels like a distraction, you can see in the eyes of this gentleman that there's genuine fear as well. As you take out your Zippo, which is an old-fashioned Zippo, so it's just gasoline and butane in a wick, and you attempt to try to light his mane on fire. He's not exactly the most flammable individual in the world, but it lights and starts to smolder a bit. As that happens, he starts to move. No idea that you have lit him. Well, at least some of his hair on fire.
Okay.
I puff up my chest because I just dominated him out of here.
He starts to move. He starts to move your way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I totally read that wrong.
Okay. Skag, it's easy at this point that you've just heard the guy you were talking with seemingly just turn around and start to scream out. Essentially really just giving away any kind of position of safety that you had before with the Raiders. And to assume, is it safe to say that you turn around as well?
I would assume so, yeah.
Okay.
If I heard our leader scream like a girl, I also want to turn around and see what's going on.
Okay.
I mean, roar. Sorry.
So when you turn around, and you as well are essentially face to face with now a stalking pit feral that is moving your way.
I think, can I do a move right now?
Absolutely.
Let's shoot the thing.
Okay, so you're actually going to attack.
Yeah. I
Okay.
want to shoot it in its face.
Okay.
I'm going to do, oh, I don't even have that move. Hold on. I'm trying to do stuff I haven't even learned. I'm going to do double action.
Okay.
Which is where I pull out my shotgun to fire upon a single target, a fiery spread, allowing you to hit all additional enemies, if any. And it says stun and burn.
Okay, go ahead.
What do I roll?
For any time you do an attack, it's always a D6. 5 or 6 is the success.
Ah, cool. I got a 1.
Okay. So you go to turn. You see this kind of monster kind of barreling down at you now. your fearless leader here has essentially just roared out and back, kind of punch like Tarzan in. So you decide to take this this moment of again the amazingness of Otis to create diversions wherever you go, so other people could reap the benefits. And you try to pull out your gun to shoot, and doing so, your gun jams.
I was
You go to pull it,
expecting-
and all you hear is click.
I was expecting you to say something like, "As you pulled it out, you shot yourself in the foot instead."
Oh, that's better though.
Well, at least it only jammed. I mean, you didn't
Yeah.
kill
Right?
yourself, so that's
You
good.
just hear click, so you're gonna have to spend a bonus action to unjam it.
Okay, and so I roll a 6 for that.
No, you just have to spend the bonus action, so you can no longer do another action.
Okay.
Instead of the main and the bonus. With that, the pit feral takes that as a sign of aggression. Go ahead and roll your reaction modifiers because you're in battle now.
That's a 20.
Is that all of us
Yeah,
do that?
so a D20
Yeah.
minus your modifiers.
I'm still
11.
stealth behind him. Am I doing this?
You're in the battle as well now.
Okay. So D20.
11.
So I got a 19.
Whoa.
So I
Yeah.
rolled.
I got confused too because it has an M on it for magic, and I was like, "Is this a real number?" for a second.
Oh, that means it's a
and
20.
then I realized, oh, this one's 20. Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Because 19's right next to it.
Yep.
Why not just put a 20? Who knows?
So if I rolled a 10 and my reaction is -7, does that mean I
You're at
get
3.
a 3?
Wow.
You're at
Three.
Holy
Okay.
crap. That's
Otis,
That's
what'd you
awesome. I had 11.
at? And Skag.
20.
20 minus your modifier.
Oh, minus the modifier?
Yeah.
Would be 13.
13. Okay. So it's going to be Rev, Otis, and Skag. Okay.
Okay.
With that as
So-
well, I need you all to roll awareness, please.
Okay.
And roll them at disadvantage as well. You're dealing with something gigantic right in front of you.
I got a 1.
My
Okay.
lowest was a 12.
I think on this D6, that's all I've gotten so far in the
It's a,
session.
D, it's, a D,
It's been
it's,
one.
a, it's a D20 to roll.
Oh, it's a D20? Okay, thank you. I
This
was
is-
like, all I've got is ones on that dice.
Otis?
This is disadvantage.
Yeah, you guys are all at disadvantage. So roll it twice,
1.
take the lowest number. Wow.
I got a 1.
Okay, so I got a
The
1
old- yeah,
the
the
first
only
time,
one in-
and then a 19 the second time.
Okay.
The
Okay.
difference there is just heartbreaking.
So you have 1 and 1 and. Rev?
Mine was a 12, I think,
A
is what I got.
Okay.
I don't feel good, guys.
Okay. As you guys are essentially preparing, let's just say that Rev and Otis both notice Skag reach for his gun, and maybe it's just because he had been dead only about 15 minutes ago that he's a little twitchy. And he goes to pull his gun, and you just see it misfire. As that happens, the pit feral essentially takes that as a sign of aggression and starts to really aggressively move down towards the two guys, walking away from you, Rev. Rev
Okay.
is aware and takes in his surroundings as he kind of sees this situation, as that the raiders are starting to come up the hill as well.
Okay.
He's starting to see them peek over that ridge. They're trying to. They've heard the roar of, obviously what you would guess would be Otis, and the roar back of the pit feral itself.
Okay, so I basically see this big monster going down and these guys peeking over the ridge coming towards us.
Correct.
And between the two are Otis and Skag, like between them.
Essentially, yeah. The easiest way to look at it is you have the gigantic pit feral coming down
Mm-hmm.
from the ridge above. You're essentially next to it, almost behind it at this point.
Uh-huh.
He is smoldering a bit in the back.
Right.
It's just not carrying as quickly and probably as much as you wanted it
Sure,
to.
sure.
And below, up to the end of the mesa, probably another maybe 200 yards away, you can see coming cresting over is a group of like 3 or 4 of the raiders themselves. So they
Okay.
from your vantage point, your two compadres and friends here are pinched.
Okay. All right. Well, I would like to try to backstab this bull feral thing with my Fury of the Jackal if I can.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to attack him. So that's a D6, is that right?
Yeah,
Just to see if I hit.
If it's attack, what exactly does the Fury of the Jackal do for you?
Let's see. I can slash up to 2 targets or a single target twice.
Okay.
For
you're gonna,
-3 exhaust if I do it twice.
You're going to do it at advantage. He has no idea that you're there.
Okay. Cool. I rolled a 5 and a 2, so I rolled a 5.
5. It's a 100% success. So go ahead and do damage.
Okay, and that's a D10.
Kill this thing.
Upgrade stage 2, so it's D10 plus 5. Okay.
You're at stage 2?
Yeah, I'm at stage because I am proficient in this ability.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
was that one of your skills or something?
Yeah, I was proficient.
I think it's because of your association allows you to be proficient. Right. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So since I attack him twice, I get to roll damage twice. Correct?
That is correct.
So I roll a 6, so 6 plus 5, so that's 11.
Nice.
And 5 plus 5, so that's 11 and 10.
Wow. 21 points of damage.
For 3 exhausts. So
and he's got 3 million hit points, so guys, this is going to be a long battle.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
So
I hope you didn't kill him.
As you're as this thing is kind of smoldering a bit, it's kind of starting to pick up a little bit of steam, you just pull out ever so quietly, you pull up your naginata, and you just, it doesn't even feel like you're taking a running jump, but you actually start to take 1 step, 2 step to get a bit of a nice slicing angle, as now you kind of have the high ground on this, and you just come down 1, 2, as you just start to create these huge gaping wounds into the back of this thing, as it actually, once you do hit it, it actually just tumbles. They're so powerful, it actually drives him to the ground, and he starts to lose his balance and starts tumbling towards the 2 gentlemen below.
I did also, my 3 ways of the blade is still activated from last time, right? Do you remember which of the 3?
I have no idea what that was.
I think I was at Deadly Poison, I think was what I had it activated when me and Otis were fighting last time.
Okay, so that gives you extreme poison plus 4 ticks. He's unable to move, so it's essentially he would be stunned.
Okay.
So for you 2 gentlemen, you hear this pit feral that's actually coming your way just scream out in terror and in pain, and it just kind of does a couple of these as you see these big slashing gaping wounds kind of open up into his back, and he kind of loses his balance and just starts to tumble down your way, and it almost becomes like a limp dog as he kind of flops and flops and flops. He is though.
I have a dog.
He is though. He is about 9 feet and almost 340 pounds or 350 pounds or something. I need you guys to roll athletics and see if you can get out of the way before this thing comes slamming down and pinning you into the boulder.
What is that, a D6?
It's always D20.
5.
I got a 5 as well.
Okay. As Rev, you see this thing just drop from the fury of your strikes. You do see him just kind of almost freeze up and just become like a stone, like dead weight, as he kind of rolls down. Unfortunately, your 2 compatriots don't seem to move. Stunned by what has just happened. This thing comes slamming down onto top of them.
It's like that scene from Austin Powers where that steamroller's moving slowly towards the guy, but he just won't move.
Yeah,
both just
it doesn't fully slam into you. You guys are able to kind of scoot and kind of find a little bit of an angle or alcove within.
Kind of a glancing blow on him.
But it does kind of slam and kind of push you into it. Each of you guys are going to take about 3 vitality points in damage, though. as it kind of just slams you up against the boulder.
You said 3.
Yep. Three apiece. Skag and Otis, what do you want to do? You now have a very, very huge. Oh, and by the way, he's on fire at this point.
By the way, he's on
Is he
fire.
still alive?
Well, if he's on fire,
he's on
instantly...
fire. He's you can see his chest kind of expand. You do notice that he is alive, though he's bleeding heavily and he's pretty battered. But you also notice that he's actually just not moving. Like he's not dead, or he's just probably taking his last breath. You don't really know. The ringing in your ear for being slammed up against the boulder is kind of like taking a bit out of you.
You know what I think we should do is probably kill this thing, and then the next reasonable thing would be to cut it open, hide inside of it like the tauntauns, and let those other guys come up to us, and then boom, bubble gut surprise, we pop out and ambush them.
The weirdest Trojan horse in history.
Yeah, I think if we roll our dice right, we could do it.
What would you guys like to do?
Think, Otis?
I'd like to run up the ridge.
He
So
wants
you-
to
you-
run
Like
away.
I
you're
just
gonna
listen
kinda
to
push-
Skag and I just push at him and I run up the ridge.
Okay, so go ahead and just roll a strength.
Strength 14.
Okay, you have no problem with just pushing this thing off you, and you just kind of jump on top of him, spring off to get out of his way. Skag is still there talking to you, as he's like watching you do this. He's he's giving you the whole thing. Like, no, seriously, man, we could end this guy.
Hide inside of it. Can I just look at Skag and then go stealth, like immediately just fade away again? Because
Like
I feel
Homer
like-
going into the bushes, just
yeah, I'm just like
that man roared at that dog, but what you did,
I'm
took
like
it too far.
the what is that Family Guy episode where I'm in the bushes and I just slide back in the bushes after he says.
You can obviously phase in and then
activate my barrage.
and phase it back out.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna need to like say something to him, because I'm to assume he's probably not, taking any notice to you at this point.
Okay, so I guess
Because he's
should
still
say-
listening to Skag.
Oh, you're saying am I too far
yeah.
away from Skag to tell him anything?
No, you're probably about 30 feet away from him at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, I would say Skag. That's a horrible idea, and then fade. I'm
Okay.
like, this is.
So Skag, what you
So we're
see
just-
as
You know what I would-
as you're
and
talking,
that-
as you watch Otis use tremendous strength that you did not think that this gentleman had, and jump over and leap
when
over.
running away,
Leap
you
over
surprised me.
this dying pit feral that's still alive in front of you. Up higher on the ridge, you see Rev kind of phase out, and you kind of look at him, and he says something and then fades back away.
I think essentially at that point, then what I'm going to do is take note of what's going on and probably push the thing off of me and run at least up to Otis where I could see him and try to regroup.
Okay.
But
Go ahead.
my
Go
plan
ahead and
isn't
go
gonna
ahead and
work.
push. Roll strength.
17.
Okay. Yeah, with no problems whatsoever. You just shove
One-handed,
this.
boys.
You just shove this thing away from you, as
Even
it kind of
better than
like,
me.
as it kind of just you actually. For him, he kind of just pushed enough of that body mass that he can slide out. You literally just kind of push this whole thing
You
about
bench press.
yeah, like a good 2-3 feet. Of course, you hear it just kind of groan and growl out.
Like a tauntaun.
and as it does that, you hear it just kind of like its breathing starts to labor, and just and gives out.
I was really hoping it was going to stay alive for those other guys. A nice little surprise for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, his poison blade had been affecting it and coursing through its veins, so
Unfortunately,
it was
you were
going to
too
kill him.
effective.
poison blade is super effective.
So you push yourself out of there. I'm to assume you move towards Otis, and where last you saw the miraging Rev, and at that point you hear, "Hey, you! Where you going? Look what we got here! Look
I'm
what
gonna
we
yell
got
back and
here!
say, "Over here, away from you," and just keep running.
Look what we got here! We got a couple little murkies out here, little babies, ripe for the
man.
picking. Where you blokes
Cockney
going?
Raiders over here.
Where you blokes going, huh?
Wait, are they?
I'm trying to stay
behind us?
silent.
Like, why are they close to us?
They were coming up on the ridge this whole time, and you guys have been
No,
talking.
I mean, like
they
now,
have
like
moved.
literally how close
Yeah, they're
to
actually
us are
they're
they?
actually coming around off to the side and flanking you from the boulder.
That boulder deceived me. I thought it was my friend. So they're just yelling at us then. I'm not going to say anything because I'm not the leader. I'm just going to look at you, Otis, and just go, I think they're talking to you.
They can't see the top of the ridge, right?
No, the top of the ridge is up there. Yeah,
Okay.
you're on the incline trying to go up to the top.
Oh,
of the
I'm
ridge.
still okay. I'm still on
Yeah,
there.
yeah, you did not pass Rev. Rev is higher up. Rev has the high ground.
I'm gonna try to keep going higher.
So you're just gonna run for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to run for it.
Okay.
Not answering Skag.
Go ahead and roll athletics
for it.
and see how well you keep your footing.
5.
Okay, you're having issues just traversing this hill.
Just walking.
This- every
Fuck.
it just feels like you're as you're trying to get away from this group of these raiders that are now coming up from behind. Your legs are just giving out on you. You don't know if it's just the stress or if it's fear again. Then again, it could be a mixture of both because that seems to be the only thing that you've been feeling for the past 5 or 6 minutes at this point. As you just like, it's just watching like a little child try to run up and just, oh, and it's like you're like waggling.
It's like a Monty Python.
Yeah, like he just can't get. Rev, you're watching Otis trying to scale this thing, and everything. Dude, it's just like watching somebody just like run in place and fall, as the dirt just continues to give way, and
As intensely as possible.
yeah. Rev, what do you want to do at this point?
Well, I kind of want to help out my friends. I have this climbing rope. Is this steep enough where if I throw down a rope, I could actually help them get up this thing?
The best part of that was the operative word was I kind of.
Yeah, I know, that's what I thought too. I kind of embarrassed by them too,
I
though.
feel like it's futile trying to help these guys because it's like watching the Three Stooges try to do anything. They're just bumping into each other and falling over the bathroom or whatever.
Apparently. So,
I'm like one-shotting guys, and these guys are tripping over their own feet. I don't know what to do. I'd like to throw them a rope. I don't know if it's so steep that will do any help or not. Well, is that something?
You're just trying to throw it down to Skag?
Yeah, like throw the rope down to Skag so that Otis and Skag could maybe use that to get up the ridge faster.
Okay. Okay, for both of you gentlemen, from some invisible, unknown source, you see a rope kind of manifest in thin air and kind of fly down towards you, smacking Otis on the head, and then the rest of them kind of unfurling down to the foot of Skag, who just couldn't believe what he just saw. He's just like, what did that come from?
first this toddler, now a rope?
You do, the raiders start to really kind of come up close to you at this point, and they're actually just moving quite quick. You do notice that they're at the ready with their sticks, and they're just like, where do you think you
How many
boys are
is there?
going? There's about
There's
three
about
or 4 of them who are up there
3 or
with
4?
you. Yeah,
Okay.
and essentially they were the ones who kind of went forward, got up on the hill with their scouts, and just goes, where do you think you boys are going?
Are they all near each other?
Yeah, they're actually on kind of a wall, so 2 and 2. Kind of a slow push towards you guys.
So I heard them, even though I'm jogging in place up a hill.
Oh yeah, you can definitely hear them. Yeah.
Okay, so I stop what I'm doing and I turn around because he said again, what are you boys doing?
Yeah. He goes, little babies out here in the wastelands. He goes, this should be easy pickings for us.
I said, we're just looking for lunch, and I want to grab a cryo grenade off my waist, and I just want to throw it up in the air, like try to center it in the middle of them, and I take a shot with my carbine and explode it. I'm using one of my skills.
Okay, so which one is this one?
Explosive personality.
All right, go ahead, and you're going to actually let me see what they got here. Go ahead and roll a d20 really quick for me.
13.
Okay. They're quick enough and aware enough to see that you're reaching for something. So I'm going to allow you to do it, but you're going to roll it at disadvantage.
Okay. So that's a D6, right? Yep.
Take the lowest.
3.
Okay. So if anything, you at least pull out the cryo grenade. You have it in your hand. You go to throw it, and they initially start to charge towards you.
And I've thrown it. Nothing happened.
No, you haven't thrown it. You just have it in your hand. They noticed that you went for something.
Oh, okay. That's the disadvantage.
Yeah, they went for
So
something.
they notice?
And instead of just standing there where you would have the advantage, they
They're
decided
coming at me?
to push. Yeah. Okay. Skag, go ahead and roll awareness as well. Because essentially you're looking at Rev with the rope in front of you. It's a D20.
Okay. No, I was confused on what I rolled at first. It was 4.
Okay. Rev, you have the high ground, so you're seeing this whole thing. I'm not going to have you roll anything.
Okay.
You see them. You see that Otis kind of makes a move towards something. He's trying to pull something out of his pack, and that they just charge. And there's essentially they're gonna whatever's gonna happen. This is gonna happen quick.
Okay. So I can take an action here, huh?
You can take an action.
Okay. Well, I do want to. I kind of want to help my friends still. So let's see. I would like to use my what's my range thing? Am I within 30 feet of these guys, or am I outside of that range?
No, you're outside of 30 feet.
Okay. Well, I can't really do anything in range, so I guess I'm gonna since my guys didn't get the hint with the rope. I'm going to start moving down to try to... I'm still in stealth. I want to try to move closer to at least try to get in range to help my friends.
I got so pissed off at that rope.
The snake. Oh, my God, a snake.
Not a problem. Skag, what do you want to do?
Well, what I wanted to do was I noticed that he obviously, because he's right in front of me, I literally see him trying to fumble with something. Automatically, I'm going to assume something's wrong. I want to take the end of the rope since it's in front of me and tie it around my body real quick and start running up the rope. But as I'm pulling it, that way I'm collecting it so that the bad guys don't have the rope to try to climb up with. Am I able to do that or no?
Yeah.
That's definitely a roll.
Go ahead and...
Athletics.
Go ahead and roll athletics.
Is that 20 or 6?
Rev, roll strength.
Roll strength. Okay.
Is that a 20 or 6?
It's a
D20.
D20.
Okay, thought so.
Okay.
I got a 10.
Okay.
Please don't let that rope defeat me.
I have strength +1. What does that mean if I have +1 to strength?
Means you'll roll at advantage.
So I mean I get to do it twice.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, thank God, because I rolled a 1 and now I got a 15.
Okay. As you start to make your way down, you actually watch Skag take the rope, tie it around him, and start to yank and pull his way up, pulling you as you're going down.
It's like two spaghetti, the dogs with the spaghetti, they're going to kiss,
As that, you actually feel yourself kind of give a bit as he initially kind of pulls because he is a big boy.
I don't know my own strength. Sorry.
But you're able to kind of steady yourself and stop it. You feel a huge taut on the rope. Literally, it's not going any farther for you. You actually just kind of stop and hold him. Skag, you feel it as well. Like, wow, like I can pull myself forward, but it feels like now that this thing has been pulled, or it's been
Anchored.
anchored to like a rock or something, like something that's really, really strong and secure. You do notice that there seems to be less length now between what was there before on the rope. And it's still like anchored to something that is just not there.
Well, I'm to assume at that point it would be Rev, right? I mean, it's not like
Yeah, well, you
within
knew
the
he was
5
going-
minutes this has happened, I forgot who he was, and that he could turn invisible.
Yeah.
I'm assuming if there's something invisible holding the rope, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's Rev.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm screwed. So, do I roll anything, or is it?
No, just know that your forward kind of progress is kind of like it's being shortened and impeded. Like whatever is there is kind of making its way down towards you,
Okay.
but it has stopped. So it's kind of like weird feeling of you're like pulling yourself, and all of a sudden it's just like there's a quick jolt. Okay, with that, Otis, go ahead and roll your initiative. Your reaction time here, and you are in battle.
11.
Okay. My question to you guys is, were you looking to go into the fray? I don't think Skag is. Skag's, that was not on his mind, but Rev?
Now that I actually got somebody on the rope coming up, I'm just trying to anchor myself
Gotcha.
to let him get
Okay.
to me. So I'm not planning on attacking this turn.
Okay,
Oh, boy.
you do have the first move, Otis. So what do you want to do? You're just gonna let frag grenade go?
Yeah, I'm throwing it no matter what. If they're coming closer, I'm still trying to center. I'm still trying to launch it to like in the middle of them to try to get them all.
Yeah, they're probably like 20, 25 feet at this point, well within
Okay.
your range. Go ahead
Yep.
and go ahead and roll.
That's just one roll.
Yep.
2.
Okay. You throw it over their head.
Fucking yep.
Larry Curly and Moe throw. God.
Oh, just the worst rolls.
You just, yeah,
You just did what we call
you give
the
it a good
Sandlot.
you give it a good toss, and you think to yourself, I can.
I don't even
that
get
right
the shot
there.
off. I just give
And
up.
you throw it essentially over the top of them. It's not very far.
Ah!
It's not very far for you, so you could still take the shot, and maybe there is, because it does explode in the 360. It
Oh,
would
I'm
have to
taking the
be.
shot.
It'd have to be super quick though.
Yeah, I'm taking the shot.
Sure, go
Super
for it.
quick. Yep. That's a D6 or that's yeah.
Yeah,
hear
whatever
me?
the thing
Oh.
says.
Oh, it says it automatically does it.
Yeah. if
Oh,
it's
that's how I
automatic-
read it.
Yeah. Then go ahead.
Oh, yeah. 1D. My fault.
No problem.
I rolled a 1. That's the damage. That's per level, and there is cold concussive. It does cold concussive, and they each get 1d4, which is 1,
Okay.
and it ignores armor rating.
A 1d4 plus damage. Okay. Ignores armor rating. Perfect. Okay. And you said you rolled a 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, creates two threats. Yeah, it is actually 100% within the 3 squares. So these guys are going to be... They're going to take cold damage here. Let me find out what your cold damage is. Give me 1 second.
I think this goes out of focus sometimes. Sorry.
Yeah, I noticed mine does that too every now and then randomly.
Lowers success rolls by 1.
Your cold damage is... Give me 1 second. I apologize. It
No problem.
is... Okay, concussive. So they are actually pushed 1 square and knocked prone. So the explosion itself just hits them from the back and drives them straight to the ground.
Nice.
And you do notice that a frost seems to kind of build and curl up on their back, freezing them for a second. Like they seem, from whatever their armor and stuff like is wearing, goes a bright whitish blue as frost starts to develop and starts to grow upon them, which now that means when they do attack that their success rolls are lowered by 1, and they cannot do any bonus attacks against you at all.
Sweet.
Okay.
So
As currently right now, they have heavy frost on them, and they are knocked prone. So any attacks that you make against them in this will all be at advantage at bonus damage.
so I still have my main attack available.
Absolutely. So if you take a shot against any of them,
Okay.
then you're doing bonus damage to them.
Awesome. So I see them all fall fast to the ground, and I grab my carbine just from the hip. It's a survival tactic.
Okay.
It's just a quick ranged attack I want to shoot at the guy that was doing the talking.
Oh, okay. So you want to specifically go for the one? He's
Yeah.
essentially he'd
He
be
called
on the
you
farthest.
a baby, so
He was the guy on the farthest to the left there, who's like
Yeah.
looking straight down, just going. Like, what happened, man?
Yep.
So go ahead and you're gonna roll at advantage, and you're also gonna do an extra 1d6 amount of damage on top of him.
Ooh,
Well,
ice and
if I
bones,
connect,
sand
right?
there.
If I
Well,
connect.
you're rolling at advantage.
Okay. 6.
Okay, so you obviously have some 100% hit.
Okay. 1d8. I'll get the 8 there. That's 10. 8. 1d8. 1.
Okay. Wait.
1 damage.
Yeah, 1d8 what? Plus what?
It says 2. Sorry.
Okay, so you do
So it's
3,
three.
then roll a d6.
Yep. Oh, and a d6. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. 2.
So what is that, 5?
5. Yeah, it's 5.
Okay.
Math.
Okay.
It's
so,
hard.
So what you guys see is you see interesting enough, when you explode concussive grenades, like especially cryo grenades, it's almost like a gaseous. So there's not a gigantic explosion that there would be in some of the other ones. It's just kind of like a brilliant bluish white flash. As you see these guys just concussively get dropped to the ground, go prone, and the frost kind of overtakes them. You then do see that Otis kind of just fire shots his carbine at one of the guys, just drilling him a few times. And with that guy, he doesn't even move. He doesn't even groan. He doesn't say anything. You just start to see within this blue frost, like this red kind of coloration that then immediately goes blue.
Nice.
Froze his blood. Holy crap.
Now, are they directly behind us? Like, should Skag be ducking from that hit fire? That looks pretty crazy.
For you,
You're like above.
they're absolutely behind you.
Okay, so then, yeah.
If you were looking up, Rev would be in front of you, and then Otis is off to your side.
Oh, I didn't mean to impede the story. Sorry, I was just imagining.
No, yeah. So it's for you, Skag. What are you gonna do?
Oh, it is for me. Okay, so at this point, I mean, if he's shooting, I might as well turn around and see about shooting too.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna turn around and see what I see that
Okay.
he's shooting at.
As of right now, you guys, if you guys do attack, you all have advantage because these guys are prone. They are not moving.
Now,
So-
am I able to do an attack right now, or do I have to just turn back first and then do it on another turn?
Actually, the next person would be Rev. So Rev, you would be
Oh,
first,
okay.
and then it would go to Skag.
Well, I would like to attack, but I'm still holding this rope, so I don't know if I let go of this rope, if I'm gonna make Skag all of a sudden lose his balance and fall on his ass again. So should I hold on to the rope, or can I take an attack? I mean, is it gonna?
That's your call, man.
This is your call.
Okay, so I see these guys prone, and I feel like my jackal instincts want me to just take advantage of this. So I'm gonna drop the rope, run forward, and try to, if I can get into range of my charge attack. Can I get within 30 yards of these guys from where I am? Or am I
What is
still too
your
far?
regular move?
My move is 40. Is my move speed?
Yeah, then you would be right up against him.
Okay.
If you did that
so,
with the charge.
Okay, so I would like to drop the rope. Sorry, Skag. Hopefully he could
Recover.
face plant. And I would like to move into range of. I've walked too many moons and do my dash towards a single target, and I'd like to attack the same guy that Otis already attacked.
That is on the ground. Okay, yeah, you obviously you saw who he hit, so you kind of you know exactly what the target is. So go ahead. You're gonna roll an attack at advantage.
Okay, so D6 at advantage.
D6 twice, yes, please.
All right, 5 was my high.
Okay, so that's a hit.
Okay, and my damage is 1d10 plus 2.
10 plus a d6.
Yeah, he'll get a D6 after.
Wait, I rolled an 11 on a d10. That's amazing. Okay, that's not. What's my d10? Sorry, I'm such a
It's a
noob.
1.
I rolled a 1.
That's a burger roll.
Burgers have some loaded dice, but he didn't get the right
He's
one.
got the wrong loaded dice.
I use like different dice every roll too.
I rolled a 7, so plus 2, so I did 9 damage with my charge.
I'll roll a D6 for an extra bonus damage because he is prone.
Oh goodness. Okay. 5.
Ever so
Because I did
casually.
nine-
After these, you have to
9 plus
fuck this guy
5.
up.
14. Okay.
I just rained chaos on their party.
All right. Skag, roll athletics.
Here we go.
I got a 1.
Okay. As literally 5 seconds ago, you felt like you were
On that note, Otis, here's your dice back.
you felt like you were anchored, and you felt safe, and you had a nice taut rope, and in mere like milliseconds, you feel yourself tumbling and falling back. Like like some unknown force just shoved you with a massive amount of energy as you kind of tumble and fall back. Go ahead and take 3 points of blunt damage as you kind of slam your head, almost knocking yourself out.
Oh my gosh.
As you do in that moment, as you are falling back, you do feel like a blur, like a breeze kind of go by you. And you just hear just attacks that are being laid out towards something. And you hear groans as you kind of slam to the ground. And with that, the gentleman who was talking a lot of smack towards you, his eyes just kind of twitch and roll back. And he is dead.
Suck it.
Oh!
The other two,
How you know how it feels?
the other two. Okay, so now that the other two kind of see this, you do notice that one is actually the frost is dissipating off of him, and he's starting to kind of gain back his muscles, and his movement, and he starts to kind of get up to one knee. The other guy is just still frozen in place, not moving at all. And you do notice, Otis, that this gentleman he saw the attack on his gentleman. He now sees Rev in clear view because the mirage has dropped off and fallen.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's just starting to grab and reach for his weapon to try to hack at him. But you are going to get to a attack before that.
Excellent. So
Skag is out for this round because he is concussed.
Oh, poor guy.
As usual.
Sorry, laying
but-
down on the job.
This time.
All right, so I see the other guy going for Rev, and
He's just like getting up to one knee, and he's just gonna try to take a swipe out.
All right, so I ready my gun up, and I go, not today, and I'm gonna use Now You're Dead, and I'm gonna shoot 4 shots at him,
Okay, go
Nice.
for it.
and that's 4 exhausts. It's 4 shots at him.
So you're
So
gonna just
here we go.
unload 4 shots. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So I rolled a 4. Is that? Did I have an
It's per-
advantage?
per shot? You're at advantage. He's not.
Oh,
He
okay.
has no. He's not looking at you. He's trying to
Oh,
attack
so
him.
I have to roll
You
with
roll
advantage
per,
for each shot.
Yes,
Okay.
because
All right, so
essentially you're burning 4 exhaust, so it's exhaust per shot. So you can
Gotcha.
do
All right,
1
the-
through 4, depending on what
Okay.
you have. Go ahead.
The first one is 5.
So that hits.
Second one's a 5.
And that hits.
Third one's a 6.
And that hits.
And the fourth one's a 6.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
He hits.
Nice.
He hits
Wow.
on
Clutch,
every
man.
single one of them.
That's
Glad
awesome.
you didn't use the loaded dice this time.
You will not. You will not get the bonus though because he is now
Okay.
up. Okay.
All right, so it's a 1d6 plus 2. That's 4.
Okay, that's the first one.
That's the first one. 3 on the second.
Mm-hmm.
3 on the third. And 6 on the fourth.
Okay.
Nice shot.
As you do, as you
Is this blood spraying on me?
yeah, as you see this raider get up and try to take a slash at your friend who has just killed the other guy that you had initially had put some bullets into. You just, for some reason or another, you just feel like you just have to do something, and you're just going to unload on this guy. And you just fire 4 consecutive shots to just hit their mark. And right as he's about to do it, it's just like doom, 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 and then the last one just right through the head as you just kind of like doom, face first, and he is expired.
Like Neo at the end of Matrix.
Yeah,
Oh, I haven't
He's-
seen that movie yet.
he's like-
man.
Oh.
yeah. He was just a rag doll when you just unloaded on this guy.
Nice.
Skag, what do you want to do? You're now your head's not ringing. You're kind of pulling yourself together.
What
You just
I'm
kind of
gonna-
roll over. You just heard
How-
Otis just unload 4 shots at something.
How many times can I use a utility? Just one time? Okay. Well then I'm screwed. I only have 2 vitality. So I'm just gonna
Don't you
Go.
have escape from the grave?
Oh wait, I do actually, yeah. Hold on, let me see.
Well, if you're talking about, we're talking about a heal.
Yeah.
Well, your secondary heal.
Yeah, because when I came back for like when we first started, I did secondary heal. I didn't do escape from the grave.
Oh, then
that's
if
right,
yeah,
skip
if it's
myself.
that one, you can do, because it's your utility. You can do it again. You're just always just paying for it.
Okay, well this time actually I do want to use escape the grave, just because I am down to just essentially 2 health points,
Okay.
and I want to. So yeah. So what it says is that it restores my vitality points back to full, and the updated one is half my exhaust rate.
Right. So it has whatever exhaust that you have already spent. It's spent exhaust.
Okay, so I have 15 exhaust altogether, and I have 10 left, so I just do like.
So
well,
you get an extra 5. So it actually just brings you
Oh,
back
so
to full.
it just brings me back to full.
Nice.
Okay. So I was like, how do I do 2.5? You know?
And then you would be back to full vitality. That's a main for
Okay.
you
Cool. Yeah.
at 0 exhaust. So you still have a bonus that you can do.
Let's see. So Otis just took out that guy, right? Meaning
he
that
did.
there's one more
There's
left.
just one guy left.
Okay, so let's see. What do I? I'm gonna attack this guy, but I don't know what I want to use just yet. I'm gonna do.
Shogii, didn't you say there were 2 and 2 at the beginning? Are there, because we've killed 2 guys. Aren't there supposed to be 2 guys left? Or
You said 3 or
yeah.
4.
I'm sorry. There was 4 guys. That's correct.
Yeah.
There was another guy
Okay,
who
so
was on
there
the
are
ground.
Okay.
I just didn't.
So there.
roll for
Wait,
him.
there's.
Okay, well
There's
he
2.
yeah the second guy is getting up onto his knees.
okay.
So there's one one guy who's still frozen, he's still prone, and then the other guy is kind of
He's
coming
getting
too.
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, so for the guy who's prone, then I want to use Tools of Death, and it's where I pinpoint precision shots upon a target. And it says success rolls for each shot minus 1 exhaust per called shot, taken up to a max of 2. So I can only roll twice at the
Right.
most.
So
Is that what it's saying?
you can spend 2 exhausts to do 2 shots, or one exhaust to do one, depending on what you had.
I'm gonna do 2 shots.
Okay.
Oh, so do I roll a 6 or a 20?
It's always a D6. You're going to roll it at advantage, and then you're calling the shots. So you tell me where you're shooting them.
Okay, so I got a 2, so I guess I'm shooting him nowhere.
No, you're at advantage.
You get to roll it again.
You get to roll it again. Take the higher.
And then I got a 6.
Okay, so the first one hits. What's the second one?
So how many times am I rolling in total? 4? So I'm doing 1 and 1, and then each one's getting the bonus roll because of
Yes.
advantage? Okay. So this one was a 3 and a 4.
Okay, so the first one is the only one that hits.
Okay.
Where are you shooting him at?
His friggin' head. He's on the ground.
Okay, so if you shoot, remember, it's on there. If you shoot the head, then you do the damage and you stun him as well. If you shoot the leg, you do the damage and you slow his movement by half speed. If you hit him in the arms, you reduce target damage, so damage that he does towards you plus damage. If you shoot him in the torso, you reduce his armor rating by half.
I
And
think
you
I'm
do
going to stick with
damage.
the head so I can keep him stunned.
Sure, not a problem. Go ahead. So you
So I
gotta
have to
do
roll
1d6 plus 2.
Okay. So 4 plus 2 is 6.
Okay. So you take just a quick shot. Your first one happens just to go a little bit wide. It's probably because of the concussion still trying to kind of wear off. The second one just hits him square in the head, kind of shatters the frost a bit, and you just see him just kind of like his eyes just kind of roll back. He's still breathing, but you absolutely have no even second thought that this guy is just not moving at all right now.
It also says that I create 1 threat.
Yep. Okay. Rev.
Well, after he took that shot, I guess I need to try to deal with this final guy who's getting up.
Okay.
So
He's the farthest one away, so.
Okay. If I have a move of 40, so can I move in range to use my Fury of the Jackal? Because I think that's my best
Yeah,
attack.
these guys are probably like 10 to 15 feet away from you.
Okay, cool. So I want to move, and I want to use Fear of the Jackal, which is my main, and it's on one target. So I want to try to hit him twice with my Fear of the Jackal.
Because he is getting up, this is not an advantage.
Okay,
He's aware of his surroundings.
So I roll once for each attempt to hit him, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I rolled a 2 and a 5.
Okay, so the
Laughing
second one
maniacally
hits.
the whole time.
Otis
All right,
is just having a grand old time in the mix of this,
Yeah.
this
He's
melee.
just celebrating his 4-shot wreckage that he got. Okay, so I need to roll 1 for
He's
damage.
like, he's kissing his rifle. He's like,
I was gonna say he's I'm thinking of like Ash from like Army of Darkness, that scene where he's like, "This is my boomstick," and like how proud he is of himself. Like that's Otis right now.
All right, so I rolled
I'm
a
into it.
9, so I do 9 plus. Well, I'm proficient at this one, so 9 plus 5. So I did 14 with that hit.
wow.
Holy cow. Wow.
This is a very strong attack, by the way.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Don't mess with a jackal, apparently.
Oh, I wouldn't. I've seen The Omen. I know what's gonna happen.
Okay, so you're hitting the one that is getting up, so not the one that is
that's
damaged. Okay,
Correct.
so
yes.
you essentially just step over the prone guy, and you're just like
I step on his face as I walk.
you feel a little like slide and crunch as you kind of slip off because you still got the frost.
Sorry
on
about
him.
your nose, bro.
And you unfurl your weapon again, your naginata, and you take two slashes at this guy. The first one he dodges. He sees you coming. He kind of dodges and moves out of the way, but he does not see the second one just come straight for him, almost just decapitating this guy in total.
Nice.
He's still barely hanging on, just bleeding out as he kind of like sits there, and he's just kind of lumbering and laboring to breathe.
As he tries to bite you, and boom! It turns out it's the Black Knight. So
he is going to now attack you.
Okay.
Because you were right up against him.
oh shit! It really is
Oh.
the Black Knight from Monty Python.
Okay.
Dude's half dead, still trying to attack.
Your arm's off, though, isn't it?
He goes to trying to make a swing at you as he's just kind of bleeding out. It's just almost kind of like a haphazard kind of swing just to damage you. You merely just step aside. And it's kind of almost a labored half-hearted. He just kind of goes, ugh. and it just kind of flops to the floor.
Oh,
Otis,
poor guy.
what do you want?
Is my poison, my deadly poison has affected him though too, right?
He definitely has the bled. I'm sorry, the poison coursing through his veins at this point.
Okay,
Corrupting his blood.
I immediately want to run over to the leader's body, and I want to check. I want to check what he's got. Like I've totally disengaged from the fight.
You want to go teabag him real fast?
Yeah, I basically just want to check out, see if I could figure out anything that could lead me to know where he's from, who he represents, or anything, and if he has anything worth grabbing.
Okay. Yeah, just go.
I mean, I'm in the middle of battle, just trying to do this.
Right. Yeah.
Going a little kooky.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, not a
cookie time for the kill.
Are those the cookies that you made today?
No, I'm saving those.
Jeez, what kind of life? What kind of life is this?
I have so many cookies. You don't even want to know.
Okay, yeah, just go. You're just kind of rolling just to see what you can find on him.
Okay.
Yeah,
A D20?
Yeah, just go roll ahead. Roll a D20.
18.
Okay, yeah, that would have been just like an investigation, which would have been fine for you.
Okay.
You do notice that these raiders don't carry much on their person.
Okay.
Okay. You figure they probably carry more stuff that is on their vehicles that they ride in on.
Their trikes or whatever.
Their trikes, their traxes, and stuff like that. You see some necklaces that's on him that was actually kind of like stuff in a pocket that seemed to be human teeth.
Okay.
He is not wearing a sidekick at all.
Okay.
He has no loose change on him at all. This guy has literally nothing except some chewed up like jerky that was in his pocket that looks chewed up.
I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna eat it.
Okay, so you take that and you think to yourself,
As I'm searching him, I'm like,
kind of sees that and he just kind of like just pops in his mouth and starts like chewing on it.
I mean, I instantly knew it was jerky,
Like,
so
not even
it was
thought in his head. He's just move him over.
yeah.
It's a bit more salty than you would think.
Okay.
Maybe because it's been chewed on, obviously, for quite some time. And other than that, you actually just kind of find just like a small, like, crude dagger that you figure that it's probably for like flaying or something like that.
Okay. That's it. I just took the jerky. That was about it.
He was really hungry though.
And I'm gonna
Keep this in mind. Otis rolled an 18 for chewed up jerky. Okay.
I'm gonna pass my the rest of my turn. That I recover exhaust when I do
You
that,
always
right?
recover exhaust.
It's just one.
No, because essentially you only did an investigation. You didn't do a main or a bonus. You would get both. So essentially
Okay,
you're getting
great.
3 back.
Great, that works out. All right.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Skag, you're up.
So at this point, Rev is still fighting the decapitated guy, right?
Mostly decapitated.
Pretty much. No. You're actually
Mostly dead.
You're actually fighting the guy that is still frozen on the ground.
He's still alive?
Yeah.
So we think.
You stunned him, but I don't
He's
think you killed
stunned.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I'm going to shoot him in the head again. Let's see.
him.
Okay.
How many times do I got to shoot this guy in the head?
The other guy who's nearly decapitated, you see Rev kind of standing over him, just kind of like admiring his work.
Peeing on his corpse.
If he could pee.
Cybernetic P. Yes.
It's more
like
like
oil.
it's motor oil.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming out heavy. This must be a 40W right here. I think I'm just going to do the same exact attack that I did last time. Since he's already stunned, I'm going to do the Tools of Death.
Okay,
And,
so since he's already
with my
stunned, then you're
back
going to hit him.
system
You're going to
aiming
hit
for the
him.
head.
Okay, you're going to hit him again. You'll do another D6 because he is stunned.
Okay.
And you're going to
So-
roll at advantage because this guy's prone. He's not moving.
So they both were 2. And then I'm going to shoot one more time. That one was a 6 and then a 4.
Okay, so you hit him once. And you can shoot him in the head. So whatever your damage is,
And then I roll that, right?
yep, you're doing damage.
What's the advantage? Okay. 2,
Plus what?
2.
2 plus 2, so it's 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
An extra 1d6. Because it's stun damage.
5. So that'd be 9.
9. Okay.
Nice.
This one you fire and you shoot wide, and maybe it's because you're kind of like looking at Rev and you think to yourself, man, that guy's good.
God, that guy is so... I'm admiring him as I'm in battle.
Because he's essentially just standing right next to him, over the top of the other guy. You're thinking to yourself, man, if I could just be just as good as that guy. And so when you shoot, you kind of shoot wide. And then you thought to yourself, wait a minute.
I'm nothing like him.
But I'm good. But I'm good too. And you just unload another one and just rips this guy, just cracks that frosted shell and just explodes his head, and he is 100% expired.
Oh, finally.
Nice. Exploding
Took his
head.
head exploding to
Yeah,
kill him.
literally. Rev, you do get some brain matter on the back of your cloak and your boots.
It's a little, you could have killed him a little cleaner, sir.
It's the price we pay.
It's like, I didn't freeze the guy. I just exploded the guy.
Okay, and then Rev.
Is it my turn? Okay.
The
So
guy
I'm-
is
so I'm
like the
look-
guy is like looking up at you. You
Wait,
can just see
since,
like anger in his eyes.
real quick, since I didn't need a bonus action on that one, do I get 1 exhaust back? Since I didn't use a bonus?
Anything that you do not use, go ahead.
Okay, cool.
All right, so he's looking at me. He's pretty pissed off that he's bleeding out in front of me, I guess, huh? All right, well, I want to take this guy out, and I want to do it in style.
Mhm.
So I'm going to use my main to Mirage and go invisible. So now he doesn't know where I am, and I want to finish him off with my bonus surgical strike. Can I do that? Can I go invisible and then surgical strike him to take him out?
He's like already dead.
I want to taunt this guy
This-
as he's dying.
This is great. So he goes invisible, but in order to attack, he has to uninvis himself.
But I
To
get
hit.
advantage. I go invisible.
So you just
it's
watch
like,
this
But-
guy
yeah, but
just
think about it,
disappear and then
'cause-
show back up with his sword.
I was about to say, if the guy who's like half decapitated though, if someone turned invisible real quick and then came right back, I think they'd be like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like, so they're thrown off. Essentially, his plan works.
Absolutely, go for it.
All right, so surgical strike. I could do
He-
two
you-
shadowy blades.
You
Throw
don't
them at
have.
one
You don't. Have,
target.
are you trying? You're not going to get advantage on this, even if you
Oh, I'm
are
not?
going Mirage, because
Even if I'm
essentially-
invisible.
No, because you're doing it right in front of his face.
All right, all right.
You're not even
Um,
like stepping around him to wait a turn. You're just kind of like, I'm gone. I'm here.
All right, so it's I throw 2 blades, but do I only roll once to see if they both hit, or?
Rand, this guy nearly has his head off his head. You don't have to do anything fancy to
All right.
to end this guy. You can do a simple attack.
All right, I rolled a freaking 6. So let's see, the damage is 1d4 plus 2. Okay.
I think
I know
I
it's
think the
fairly-
4 is going to do it. The 2 might do it as well.
So I rolled 3 plus 2, so I did 5 damage. To
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So essentially,
Most
what you
yeah.
do is you kind of like.
Spit
I
at
mean,
him and he falls.
here's the thing.
dies.
You tell me what you want to do with this guy then,
Well,
since you are taunting him in his final moments on Soldaria.
what I really wanted to do was like do a Dragon Ball Z move where my guy's like disappearing and attacking, so the guy
Just
doesn't know
one
when the attacks
shot.
are coming.
Puncture him all over the place.
He only feels
God,
one and
Goku over here,
he only
man.
feels one dies, but he's like still doing it. He's like still disappearing and doing it.
So to be as cool as possible, because Rev apparently cares about his looks, I jump
course.
up above him, turn invisible as I jump, and then 2 shadowy blades appear out of nowhere and finish the decapitation in an X across his neck to finish him off.
And then all you
Well
hear
done.
is, "Aye, daddy," and that was me admiring you more.
Well done. Otis, you take notice of this as well.
Mhm.
Your thoughts?
I stand up, put my carbine in the air, and I'm just I'm just very pumped.
Well, yeah, was that like
Tusken Raider?
Tusken Raider?
Yes, very Tusken Raider-esque.
He can't say anything with salty jerky in his mouth. So it's like,
I want I want to look over to the wolf laying on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody roll awareness
Okay.
at disadvantage.
I got a 1. That's a
8.
disadvantage enough.
My lowest was a 4.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 17, but 4.
Okay.
We all
as,
did,
as you're like kind of essentially doing your like victory dance, Rev just like disappearing and showing up, disappearing, and then like Skag just going, "Oh, aye, daddy," and enjoying it. You, Skag, because essentially you're looking out. You do notice that 5 or 6 more come up the top of the ridge, from the rest of the group that was below there.
Oh, I noticed that?
Yeah. Because they have their
They're
backs.
saying-
They would have their backs towards that ridge, and you're looking at them, so you're actually seeing them kind of crest up and over.
In that moment, then, can I just be very simple and elegant and just point behind them and just say, "Oh fuck"? Just hope they turn around.
Yeah. So okay. So Rev and Otis, as you're kind of like doing your dances and whatever, like feeling yourself,
Posing in cool ways.
posing yourself, like taking selfies or whatever you guys are doing, taking like sidekick selfies. You get just a quick stern look from Skag, who just kind of points and just goes, "Oh fuck."
How far would you say the motor trikes are?
They are down at the bottom into that valley. They're not riding them up; they're climbing up.
So these are
No,
5 or
well,
6 more
where they
guys
left
up.
theirs, the other guys that left theirs.
Yeah, the ones that we killed.
Down in the valley.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to go through these guys and down with everything is down.
Oh, we have to go through them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Or go around, or whatever you guys want to do.
And we're on an incline? Let's just roll
No,
down the hill.
No, not at this point. You're back onto the flat. That flat.
No, I
plateau
mean
mesa.
towards them. Towards them is an incline,
Yeah,
right?
it would be. Yeah, it would be a decline.
Decline.
Incline. Means
I don't know
up.
English, apparently.
Yeah, incline means up. Decline means down.
Yeah.
All right, so then I'm going to go horizontally. I'm just kidding. Well, we could. So they're going from their direction in an incline up towards us, and that's where the tracks are. Oh shoot!
All right. Well, I take a look at these guys coming, and I take a look over at Otis. I'm like, "Do you want to still go, or you want to run, man? This is getting ridiculous. It's up to you. You're the leader. Tell us what to do."
And in that moment, and in this
Yep.
in our very early campaign here, Rev, who was the straight man who had the most wisdom and the most experience, has now just resigned duties to up to 24 hours with Stinky Man, who's now running the ship, eating chewed up jerky, kissing his carbine, doing dances.
I'm tired.
Otis, a man among men.
Hey
I'm
man,
tired
I
of
mean,
marrying.
realistically, look at America. You don't need to have brains to be, a leader. So I'm okay with this situation.
And I want to absolve myself of any guilt of all these guys. Apparently, I just have to keep killing. So I'm like, okay.
Okay,
Tell us what to
with
do.
that, Otis, they kind of just give you a look as you kind of now see
That they're
a
there.
group of 3 or 4 more that are actually coming and cresting up and climbing up to the top here. Obviously, trying to figure out what happened to their friends and seeing the ruckus that's up here.
Fuck.
At this point, they all almost look relatively the same to you. They're just faces.
They realize we're up here, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They've, with all the gunfire that you guys have put up here,
Exploding cryo grenades.
exploding cryo grenades.
Yelling at large dogs.
Yeah, they're climbing up here. Your original smoke grenade has now dissipated. It is no longer there.
So Rev looks at me. He asks me, "What do we do?"
I'll
fade the
follow your
leader.
lead.
I let off a rallying cry and that instills motivation in all my allies, restoring half their expended exhaust back to them.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
Um,
Okay.
wow.
I
could
can only
use
do
it.
that once per fight, so
Yeah.
we're done. That was my bonus. So
So that means if I was at 4 exhaust and my max is 15, I get.
you're back to 15.
I'm all the way back to the max. I thought it said
Oh no,
half. of
half,
my exhaust.
half. Sorry.
Yeah, half
So-
of whatever you.
There's two things I could choose.
So I get like
yeah.
7 back, I guess. So I'll have like
Right.
11 exhaust.
And
Okay,
then,
cool.
I guess that would just put Skag back up to full if he had spent anything
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Because I only where we last left off. Yeah, I was.
That doesn't do it for me though. It's just for them.
Oh yeah.
What does it read exactly?
It says it says in your allies. So I assume it's just them.
Yeah, it would be just them then.
Okay. That was my bonus. So and then I'm after, I'm shouting, ah! I take
you can. Okay, it actually says instill motivation in your allies, restoring half their expended exhaust back to them, or you can roll a d20. If you roll a 19 or 20, it's full.
Oh, so I read that as I could
As-
choose to do that.
Yeah,
but
but you could do that for one exhaust extra.
oh no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, so
I'm
it
just going to use it for the first
Yeah,
bit.
it just costs you more to see if you can.
Yeah.
do it.
I got you. So I'm going to use survival tactic. I'm going to hip fire again at one of the guys climbing up the hill.
Okay.
To really
so
get the point across,
there's
we're
4
going
guys,
on.
1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to the far left.
Probably more in front of me, not to the left or the right. So if there's guys in the middle, one of those guys.
Sure. Okay, then go right ahead.
Okay.
I am going to give you I'm not going to give you advantage on this one because they're seeing you come up, and you're seeing them at this point. They got a beat on you before you even turned around.
I got a 1.
Okay, so you essentially you're shooting almost like a warning shot, kind of over their
Okay.
head.
You're saying hi. You're letting them
Yep.
know that we're here.
You guys know my style.
Dance for me, dance. Shooting in the
Okay.
dirt.
They didn't. If anything, they saw you up there, so you're not going to get anything advantage. But you did shoot essentially a warning shot at the one guy, and because he was still climbing up, he actually loses his footing and kind of slides back down some. So he kind of falls below that crest.
Just like you planned it.
Just like you planned
Yep.
it, absolutely.
Always
Rev,
leader.
what are you doing?
I would like to. My kind of way of fighting is, if there's any range between me and my enemies, I'm gonna immediately mirage so I can get to a better position. So I would like to
Okay.
fade from view, and then move to the side to try to get,
Flank.
yeah, kind of to flank the enemy.
Okay, with that, go ahead and roll sneak with advantage.
Okay.
So that you essentially you just kind of you're there and you dematerialize and disappear
Okay.
with a
So
reflective.
that's
approach.
a D20, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's so loud.
My highest was a 10.
Okay. So
I just got that.
My loud dice rolling.
you slowly but surely are trying to make your way around, but you do notice that when they did get a beat at you and see you were there, and then you dematerialize, that they're really kind of like focused and scouring around where you're
They
at.
know about my general area where I
Right.
am.
So they're getting a general beat on you, and they're really kind of trying to focus. Skag,
Okay.
what do you want to do?
I'm gonna use my utility into the shadow, which is similar to his mirage. So I'm gonna turn invisible, and then I want to use the tools of death and try to pinpoint one of the guys on the right.
Okay, so you're gonna roll for your stealth. So you're gonna roll a
Okay.
d20, but you're gonna roll it. You're always gonna roll it at advantage because you'll be proficient at it.
I got 16.
Okay. So you relatively just using the cover and stuff like that. You're almost like there, and you just kind of like disappear. You kind of skirt quickly away, finding just cover that you won't. You almost essentially just disappear from their sight. They cannot
I just
get
go
a
in
beat
the
on
cardboard box and no one knows the difference.
you. Yeah,
Metal Gear style.
they can't get a beat on you. You were there 1 minute and you're gone the next. You don't essentially disappear like Rev does, but
Oh, I thought that's what it was.
your stealth is super high that you're able to just move and use cover and stuff like that they can't find it and get a beat on you at all. And then you said you wanted to do your bonus action, which was what?
Tools of Death, that one that I've been
Okay,
using.
so which one are you hitting now?
There's 6, right?
There's 3 sitting on a thing. One guy slid down.
I'm gonna go for the guy who slid down. Hopefully, I hit him and show him it's his mistake for falling. So
Okay, you wouldn't be able to hit him. He's
Yeah, didn't he fall down
he
kind of a
fell
ridge?
down
He's
the ridge.
out of your line of
Wait,
sight.
He'd
kind
be
of
out
thing?
of line of sight. You're on
if
a
he's out of line of
plateau.
sight.
They're climbing up this, and if he slides back down, you don't have line of sight.
When I'm imagining a plateau in my head, I would be able to see them. If I could see the guys that are farther down, I'd be able to see him even if he fell, right?
You're seeing guys crest
Have
over
I not, have
a
I
ridge.
have I been climbing hills and mountains wrong? Like I'm confused
You're-
on how the
you're-
perspective
you're-
works here.
You're on a plateau or like a mesa, and then it crests down into a valley. You're in the far back that was cresting up. You have not moved forward at any point to see anybody down. They're just cresting over. So you, from your line of sight, you're just seeing a bunch of heads and faces come up over
Kind of a ridge.
the ridge below.
Okay. So I'm at the point where I could only see what's coming up the ridge.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the way it was like explained, I thought I was at the edge of the ridge, and that's how I saw them.
No,
down
you're
there.
actually the
That's why I
farthest
was
back,
confused. I was like, wait a
which
minute.
would you would be inclining back up to the top.
I'm gonna shoot one of the 3 that I see then.
Okay.
Probably just the one that's closest to me.
Okay, not a problem. Go ahead.
And then we don't have advantage right now, right?
No, they do see you.
Well, didn't he just go stealth?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Then go ahead. Absolutely. Good call. You're lucky.
Cool, yeah.
Lucky you have Rev, who kind of
Who
wants
fails
to help
at
you.
stealth?
He knows this thing.
It's kind of his shtick, you know.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2 and then a 4 for the first one, and then the second one is a 4 and a 4. So
Okay, so even with stealth, you just start to randomly shoot wild over the top of them. And luckily, it scares one of them enough that he starts to lose grip and slide down.
we don't even need to defeat these guys. We just
I
need to
know.
shoot towards them, have them fall, and then leave.
This is an oil slick ridge. It's
Right.
got oil on the edge of it.
Is there anything that you else
See what
wanna-
I did?
Everything else you want to do, Skeg?
I don't think so. That was my bonus, right?
Yep. Okay, then
That
Otis,
would be it.
what do you want to do?
Oof.
You've just
wow.
seen two guys
Slide down the hill or
slide
whatever. Yeah.
randomly, just lose grip and just kind of tumble
Yeah.
and slide down. You're figuring that you're not hearing anything. They're not fully sliding down, just losing grip.
So like I'm all like full of myself because the rallying cry there
Mhm.
seems like to really turn the tides for us here, even though it was always in our favor. I am going to. I want to. I'm going to drop a smoke grenade right where we are, and it's sneaky bastard. It creates confusion, allowing us to slip away and become either obscured or lost, and it drops all threat.
Okay.
That's a bonus. Do I have to roll, or is that just like a passive kind of?
What does it say?
It just says survivalist toss a smoke grenade, creating confusion.
Oh,
Allowing you to slip away.
That's just an automatic.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna pass on my main.
Yeah,
Like,
because
I-
it's a 0 exhaust. So
Yeah.
okay. So what you guys all see is that Otis reaches into his pack again of his tricks. He pulls out another canister, kind of pulls the pin, hits the button, kind of drops it about 10 feet in front of you guys, right between you and obviously the ridge itself, and the smoke starts to billow up, obscuring all vision, allowing you to pretty much slip away if you so choose to, or just know that even if you continue to try to fight in that, they would be obscured from you as well. So
I give no direction. I don't say a thing. I just drop it.
So Skag and Rev, that's what you kind of just see in front of you.
Oh, it's because everybody's just disappearing, so I'm trying to copy.
Oh man.
So yeah, you
All I
guys.
can think of is like Batman versus Superman style, like where Wonder Woman and Superman block like from that huge attack, and Batman just like, oh, I'm just gonna dip. Like that's you right there. You're the one who's like, I can't spell. Just throw this.
That's essentially all you see. You don't. Otis gives you no other kind of indication of anything. He just kind of just takes it, dumps it, and just kind of watches it just billow out.
What do you think, Rev? Do you think we should try to run?
Well,
I
got a
who
crazy idea.
How are you talking to Rev?
I want to
With
talk
my
into
mouth.
my little.
Is that not? Am I not able to
sidekick.
talk?
Okay, are you
thing
using
here.
your sidekick to communicate with him?
Well, yeah, that's how we've been talking, wasn't it?
No, but
Well,
you're
Rev
merely
isn't
saying
talking.
from a role playing perspective,
show.
it just sounds like you're just talking to the air, to the guy.
Yeah. So I want to say to Skag here, I got a crazy idea. With that smoke grenade, they don't have a clue where we are. We both faded. I say we circle around behind these guys who are trying to get up the ridge, grab their trikes, and kind of mess with them, like basically sabotage their trikes so they're stuck here. I got a crazy idea. What do you think?
Wait, aren't there trikes all the way down there with them?
No, they're all up here trying to get on the ridge. I feel like we took out 4 of them up here. There's 4 more up here. That's 8.
Different wrist. I know what that wrist does.
I think we take advantage of their confusion, circle around behind them, see if we can mess with their trikes.
What happens though if that goes wrong? What if we try to steal one of their trikes and get out of here?
That's our
Or-
backup plan.
Okay, well then let's try to do that. Let's try to get through the smoke and mess up their trikes.
Okay.
Okay.
Roger, over and out.
Okay. Yeah.
Rev,
Yeah. The
specific.
comms. Obviously, I'm to assume that you guys are working on some kind of group comm, anyways. That Otis, you heard this as well.
Yeah, I did.
Even though the conversation seemed just to be between the two of them.
Yes,
You did hear this.
they know.
How radios work.
It's only two-way, but two-way.
Yeah.
There's always a third guy. Okay, so you guys are just trying to use your advantage and scurry down the hills.
Yeah,
The ridge
basically
itself?
use their distraction by that smoke grenade and them slipping on the hill to get behind them, get down, and try to sabotage their trikes.
If you want to both go ahead without any problem, roll sneak on both, and I'll give you guys advantage because of the smoke.
Okay.
What do you want to do,
Sneak.
Otis?
Sneak is 20, right?
Yes.
I get. It's my turn. Like I can attack or something. Holy
Yeah,
crap!
because they're gonna sneak down. So essentially,
So I know. I obviously I heard him. So that's
right.
with that
My
knowledge.
sneak was 14.
14.
Do we roll twice because of advantage?
Correct. Go ahead, Scott.
Okay, let me roll one more time.
I'll let you do rolls.
My highest was 8.
Yeah, mine was 14.
Okay, with no problem, Rev kind of goes. Obviously, he tries to make his way farther out to the side, so he's not going down the same way, in order to obviously hide his footsteps as he's kind of sliding down there as well, because they're in a state of panic and confusion, trying to climb up as well as deal with what they believe to be easy pickings with the enemies, as well as trying to climb, and now they have the smoke that's actually just filling their lungs and kind of blowing into them. You kind of make your way down, and you're able to slide down safely down to the bottom. Skag's having a bit more issues with that. Go ahead, Skav, roll a d6 for me.
4.
Okay, you start to lose your footing and tumble and kind of scrape yourself up, bang yourself up. You're gonna take 4 points of damage as you just kind of like
Oh, my
tumble.
guy's an idiot.
As you kind of tumble
He's a
and
little
fall,
clumsy.
you were also your stealth is going to drop. You're out in the open as you just tumble and fall to the ground. Otis,
All right, so we still have 2 guys on trying to get up on the ridge.
at this point, you don't know. Completely obscure
Oh, that's
vision.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of screwed me all up. Well, I am going to I'm going to move. Is there any higher I could get?
As long
Can
as
I
you
go-
go back up the way.
And
That's
how
that's
far?
back to the dead pit feral. Back up that
Yep.
way.
I don't want to do that. I want to move to the right, like so the smoke isn't in front, like I'm not engulfed in it.
Mhm.
I want to move out of it and try to gain vision on them. And if it's possible,
Kind of a side angle on them.
yeah, like a side angle. I still want to stay up top, but I want to fire one shot at each of them.
Okay.
With
Not a problem.
with now you're dead.
Okay. You're not gonna have any issues with trying to flank them on their side and trying to get an angle.
Okay,
As you're going to the right or to the left.
to the right.
Okay, so you go to the far right. You're gonna get an angle. You can see. Really, you can get line of sight on 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 have made their kind of way up, and they're trying to kind of crest over, trying to get through the smoke. And in the far distance, you can see the tumbling body of Skag as he kind of rolls down.
So it's impossible to shoot the guys that are up top with me.
No, they're
'Cause
they're gonna crest no matter what at this point.
Okay.
So it's the 2 that slipped down that he's got an angle on. Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take the 2. I'm gonna fire.
He can
Two
take
shot-
he could take
one
the
shot
2
at each.
shots at the other 2, but they're actually would be in the smoke itself now.
Yeah. So it'd be.
Yeah.
I'm going for the angle down below then on the guys down below.
You're gonna get advantage on that as well.
So both rolls.
Yep.
I'll get advantage. All right. 4. All right. 5 on the first
That's a hit.
and 4 on the second.
That's a miss.
Okay. The first one will damage. That's an advantage too, right? The damage roll.
No.
No. Okay. That's 3 1d6 plus 2. 5.
Okay. So you did 5 damage to the one?
Yep.
Okay. So the first shot that you try to get beaten an angle on simply just goes wide
Yep.
again on you. But then at the second one, you kind of take a short breath, try to hold it in. You know. Okay. You do a little. You take the slack out of your carbine and you just kind of just nice squeeze and pull on the trigger, which just slams directly into this guy's torso. As he does, you can just see just blood just kind of spurt out of him, and he starts to tumble back down
Fast.
to the ground, hard and fast, as
Nice,
well as
nice.
he's going to take.
Hard and fast.
Ah,
You just unloaded on him, and he just couldn't handle it.
Oh my god. We're not at the bathhouse anymore, okay?
As well as he takes another 2.
The
He
bathhouse.
takes another 2 damage as he's just kind of tumbling, and he kind of, digs his hands in, trying to grab a hold of some of the loose rock and stuff like that, just kind of slow his descent. And he
How
just
does
kind of
this
like
roll
slows.
down
He
a
just
hill?
kind of slows down because he doesn't roll as poorly as you.
Yeah, apparently so. What the fuck?
Okay.
What did I buy this armor for? Can't even stop a roll.
he just got shot in the chest. He's numb. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so the other 2 guys are going to try to. They hear the sound of your shots, your 2 shots, and they're going to try to make their way towards you. Luckily, they're still being obscured, so they're not able to get a beat on where you're at. Did you have any movement left that you wanted to use to try to like skirt back a bit? Because you're only using about like 10, 15 feet to get off to the side there.
10 or 15 feet is what I
Yeah.
use. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna.
You want
Go-
to kind of try to retreat back a bit.
Yeah,
close the
yeah. I
gap.
want to retreat. Yeah, I want to kind of gain an angle on the cloud.
Okay, on the billowing smoke.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, I want to,
You
but
wanna-
get
you try
far
and-
away from it.
Okay.
Use the rest of my range to get away.
How much range do you have left?
I have 40, so you said 15.
Yeah, so about 20. Let's just say you have about 20 or so feet. You're able
Okay.
to start to get up to where you're getting high ground. You're cresting back up
Okay.
if you want to try to do something like that.
Yes.
to try to
that
get an
is
angle.
what I'm looking
to
to
try
do.
to get an angle.
Yeah.
On. Okay. Rev and Skag, what are you doing at this point? Oh, let me. I'll pan it for you quickly. Rev, you have no problem getting down to the bottom. In the far distance, you see your tumbling friend, and he just kind of like slowly slides down.
I can't even tumble fast, man. I suck at even rolling. What the fuck?
To a stop. You do hear the thunder cracks of two shots from above the ridge as well. You see one guy start to tumble and slide back down, closer to you. As you start to see now that the two guys have crested and gotten up to the ridge, and the last guy has gotten up and he's slowly starting to crest and climb up to as well. There's only two guys down here at the bottom who are watching the trikes.
Well, there are two guys.
And the Traxes. There's a total of about 4 of them here. Most of them are heavy-duty tracks, which would essentially they look like bikes with heavy-duty iron fusion motors that have like tank tracks on it with heavy-duty suspension, so they can climb in terrain. They can climb over any kind of heavy terrain and stuff like that. And you do notice that they're kind of hitched to these very, very long, kind of like trailer hitched, where they're using it just to carry carcasses and stuff or whatever they've kind of scrounged and found. A lot of them just has would look like just old used parts that they've kind of scavenged kind of all over. And a few of them, you do take a look that they're some of the cybernetic parts from the bodies that they had picked up on their way that you had taken out earlier in the day. So they tossed a few like cybernetic arms on there. Some of those, you see the two guys actually wearing the jackets of the two guys that you killed, and it's got like bullet holes in them.
Okay, so I'd assume if there's only like 4 of these trikes, there's been like 15 of these guys or so that like 1 or 2 guys drive each one and the other one's riding the trailer kind of thing.
Probably something like that, yeah.
Okay, and you say there's 2 guys guarding the thing?
Correct.
Okay. I feel like
these 2 guys, I will say, again, the same look, heavy masks, big masks with like these big, almost like football pad looking shoulder pads that are just heavy metal. No pun intended in regards to that. But these, you do notice that on their hips are a couple of X-fire shots, which are essentially relative guns that they use out here. They fire they fire iron shots. So the closest thing to maybe like a concussive shot that they probably have just taken off of other people that they have found.
Okay.
So they do have them ranged on you if they did decide to use them.
And do they see us, or are we still at advantage?
Rev's at advantage, but they're not exactly looking at you. They're looking at their cohorts trying to climb up and seeing one of them fall down.
Okay. Well, if I can quietly into my sidekick say to Skag, I want to sneak up on these guys, take them out so we can take their trikes. What do you want to do? You want to fire at them, or do you want to?
I'm pretty sure they see me. So how about I cause a distraction for you and open fire on them, giving you time to sneak in from behind.
I like it.
Otis, you heard this as well.
Yes.
Okay.
I took it in.
Okay. With that, do you want to hold your? It would be your move, Rev. Do you want to hold your action to let him do something first?
Yes. I think what I'll do is I will not bonus attack or do my main attack, but I will just use this turn to move into range as close as I can to either the flank or behind, as much so it's a surprise attack as possible.
Sure, not a problem. So you're going to hold action. What action are you holding?
Both.
Yeah, but I'm going to hold. Well,
in regards to his like main one, if he's going to attack, what is he going to try to hold? What is he going to hold him with once something?
I'm going to hold my bonus so that I can do a main attack if I get in range.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
Okay.
Skag, what are you trying to do to cause any kind of distraction or disruption?
I'm gonna shoot at him. I'm gonna do the tools of death per usual because it's the only one that allows me. Actually, wait. There is a different one that I think I'm gonna use.
Okay, these guys
I'm
are
gonna-
about 30 to 40 feet away from you, so you're probably going to have to move up to try to hit them.
Nope, I have a 30-foot range.
Oh, okay,
I'm gonna
then fine.
I'm gonna shoot at him from right here. Like I said, I've already fallen. I mean, at this point, might as well just get up and just shoot. So while they're looking at me, he can get on behind and do something. So I'm gonna use one of my mains. I'm gonna do Hellfire and Brimstone,
Okay.
and it's where my eyes go fiery red. My guns now have a dark aura around them as I begin firing precision shots at all enemies who are within 30 feet. And then it does create 2 threat.
Are you guys
So
keep a track of threat?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if
Yeah.
I do that, I'm gonna be up at 3. No, my threat level goes down, right? When
No,
the
always goes up.
people die.
Always goes up. Keep track.
So we
of-
get threat
keep,
with
So
people.
wait a minute, because
keep track. Always a threat. If you spend,
I understand. I am keeping
skill.
track. What I'm saying is, I obtained this threat level from the enemies that we previously killed. Do I keep the threat level at
you
all
always
times,
keep
even
it.
if they're
You
dead?
always keep it because if it
Oh.
ever comes down to I have to decide who is
Okay,
taking
great.
shots, I need you to give me what your threat level is because they're gonna all shoot you.
I think we're
And if
gonna
you're
need more.
deducting it, then you're cheating the system.
No, but then we're gonna need more boxes because I'm already at. I only
No,
have
all
one
you have
box
to ever
left.
you just keep track of it. Burger's done it. If you're at max, just tell me you're at max. That's all.
All right,
That's all
well,
it is.
So I shoot him. What dice do I use, man? Because this says S1, S2, 1d6 plus 4 8s.
You're always gonna
S3.
do 1d6 to
S1.
hit.
Okay.
You're at
So-
stage 1 of the skill, so you're
So
always
stage-
gonna do stage 1.
1d6. Okay. And then I roll just once, right? Because
No,
no
you're gonna,
advantage.
you always roll per shot. If you're doing 4 shots, roll per shot.
It would be just 2 shots because it just says all. It doesn't even say that. It just says all enemies.
Oh, then yeah, it'd just be the 2 shots.
So it's just roll twice.
Unless you determine that. I'm sorry, not determine. If you decide that the guy who was sliding down at the bottom that Otis hit is within the 30 feet as well, because he would be. You could shoot him too. The other 3 guys have already crested above, but one guy
Okay.
did slide down because of Otis's shot.
Well, then yeah, let's throw that loser on.
So
into
you're
this
just gonna
bunch, too.
start gunning guys for it. Okay. So you're just gonna
Okay.
take 3 shots here.
Okay, so the first one was a 1, so that's good. Second one was a 2, slightly better, and the third one was a 5.
Okay.
That's good.
So the guy in the last one, I'm going to allow you to roll one more time. Go ahead.
3.
Okay, so it didn't even really matter.
One,
Because I was
two,
going to give you
three.
advantage on the guy who's sliding down because he had no idea that you're even there. Okay, so essentially you only hit the guy who was sliding down. So go ahead and do your damage.
Okay. 2.
2 plus what?
So
The first number.
4. So that'd be 6.
It's 2 plus, the 4 is the modifier?
It says 1d6 plus 4/8.
Yep. Okay. So you did 6 damage to that guy, which luckily you take the first 2 shots at the 2 guys that are posted up watching the, which were the 2 guys that you were supposed to cause a distraction for.
Well, I
Oh.
mean, shooting at them, I think,
You-
still
you-
should have
you-
caused the
you
distraction.
you do shoot both at them. Both shots just ricochet off the motor trikes themselves. There's a ching ching. Immediately, it does get their attention. They look at you, and as you do, you kind of turn to the other guy who's like pulling himself up, and you shoot him just straight in the back. And then, unfortunately, that guy is just lets out a groan and just kind of.
That guy had a bad
It just expiration date.
Well, now
Alright.
those guys know I missed those first 2 shots on purpose.
Okay.
Well,
So now those
since he-
guys are going to decide what they're going to do. They only see Skag, who's within the
Okay.
30 feet. So they're going to use their movement to both go after Skag. And they are going to do.
Oh, so can I not use my main to attack them while they're distracted, or do I have to wait till after they attack?
Are you right up next to him?
Well, I have movement of 40, so I wanted to move as close as I could to flank them while I was stealth and he was causing the distraction. So when would I
Okay,
attack? Not be till next turn, or
No, because you're holding your turn. I will actually let you get attack of opportunity on these guys before they start to
Okay.
go after him.
okay. So what I would like to do, I feel like it's probably my fear of the jackal. I could hit 2 guys. Let me actually focus my Fury of the Jackal on the guy that I got closest to, so I
Okay,
can get
that's
as much
fine.
damage on one guy. So I need to roll a d6 at advantage, you said?
Yes.
Okay. 2 and a 1.
Okay. As the shots ricochet off the sides of the tracks themselves, and you see these two raiders turn to see essentially just a beat up at this point and dirtied up Skag just firing wildly. You do see him take down one of the other guys, and you feel good for him. You try to go in there to take a few shots of these guys, but right as you do it, they bolt. And you just swing and whiff and miss. Luckily enough that they do not feel the heavy breeze of the whiff and miss as you just swing at air.
All right, well, that's nice at least.
With that, they are going to just 100% just go right after you, Skag. So they're going to do... they're going to do head-on collision. So they're just going to run right at you and just straight body slam right into you. So the first one's going to come at you, and he rolled a 6, so he hits. And the second one is
already
go
fuck
for
these
it.
guys.
And the second guy is going to miss. So they do 2d4.
Knowing my luck, I'd be like 30 damage. You're not only dead, you owe vitality now.
They do 7 points of damage as they just slam their bodies, even almost skewing you a bit on their heavy spiked shoulder blades, and they just drive you directly into the ground, just expelling any kind of breath that you had into you, knocking the wind out of you, and you are prone. You actually have a big, ugly, smelly raider guy just laying on top of you.
Nice.
Mad Max WrestleMania mode
Otis,
going on there.
you're going to get an attack of opportunity here. You're starting to see, even with your angle, a bit more as the smoke is starting to thin a little bit for you. You do see that there are 3 guys who are looking and searching for you at this point.
Oh, 3 guys. Oh, shit. I was expecting 2. I have, you said I have opportunity.
I'm going to give you attack of opportunity this one because you did kind of skirt up to try to get to a higher ground. You're not exactly at the place that you were at before.
Okay. How many cryo grenades would you say I'd be carrying?
Usually you only have...
I don't want to abuse it.
Go ahead and roll a 1d4.
3.
Okay, then you'll have 3. We have 3 for this turn.
Okay. I'm going to reach down by my side again, fumble around for a cryo, because, I carve in them, so I know what they feel like, I'm gonna throw it right by the smoke.
Each one of them has a big C on it.
Yeah.
The other ones have a big S.
Yeah. That's what I do for myself. Just keep me going. So I'm going to throw it towards the cloud, and before it hits the cloud, I want to take a shot at it to make it explode.
Okay, so you're actually going to try to shoot it in air.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Okay, then you're going to go do it with advantage on this one as well.
Cool.
They are not seeing you at this point.
5.
Okay, and you do hit. Yeah.
Okay.
Their awareness is in the trash right now.
That's a cool attack. Throwing a grenade, shooting it in midair. Holy crap!
Oh,
Only if
it's
it
awesome.
works.
all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Alright,
it looks,
so-
you look
Yeah,
so.
I think he has thrown a few that were just like way over the guy.
Yeah, I have. So that hit. So obviously I'm rolling for
Okay.
damage now.
Absolutely.
So it's 1d4. I rolled a 2, and it's cold concussive.
Okay. So
That's per level. I have one level.
You take this grenade and you kind of toss it. You get nice, good elevation for the first time. You feel
Yep.
like, wow, I have the perfect range. And right as it's about to make its descent down, you just take that carbine, you rack it, and you fire. It just explodes in like this blue-white dust particles that kind of like float down on these guys. And again, as you saw with the other guys, you see these guys just start to kind of crumble to the ground as these frost particles start to just to accumulate on their skin and on their armor, and just freezing them up into almost like these statuesque looking whatever gargoyles. Yeah, I guess it's a way to take a look at them. They are currently unable to move. And
I want to walk up slowly.
Okay.
Come out, wherever you are. And I want to take my gun by my hip and fire one shot. It's a survival tactic, quick range,
Okay.
at the closest guy on the ground as
Sure.
my main attack,
Not a
because the
problem.
other one was a bonus.
Go ahead.
That is a 5.
Nice.
That's an easy point blank shot for you. Go right ahead.
5 plus 2 is 7. 7 damage.
Okay, nice. So you just make essentially just a point blank shot with your carbine directly at this thing. No matter what the case is, he's still kind of like encased in ice, so it's almost like an armor for him. But you can see it just shatter, and there just seems to be blood particles that kind of starts to spider web out, and then just go blue and kind of coalesce back in. The look on his face is just of pure horror as you walk up directly to this guy, and you just fire this shot into them. Rev, I'm sorry. Otis, did you have any kind of bone? That was you did two things.
I did my
Yeah,
main and my
okay.
bonus. I'm good for
Okay. Rev, you do hear for the first time a carbine shot. You actually know it by this point. Back up at the ridge, you kind of get the sense that Otis is in his own mix-up at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, since I whiffed on my big batter up swing earlier, looking around, making sure nobody saw that.
Right.
Like, okay, good. But I see.
You
see
you
Skag.
look around to who to see this?
Just making sure nobody else is around.
Skag's on the ground. I'm like, oh, it's
No other, random raiders just, laughing at me for my big whiff. But I know I hear the carbine, but I also hear the explosion of the cryo. So I'm like, okay, I think he's good up there. Skag's on the ground being tackled by some guys with spikes on their arms. So I want to.
Skag is currently prone and restrained.
So what I'd like to do is I would like to use. I've walked too many moons to do my dash single target strung attack that pushes a guy in any direction on the guy who's on top of him to try to knock him
You're just
off.
gonna knock him off. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
You did try to attack, so you were out of Mirage.
Right, correct. I'm no longer Mirage.
They do not, again, luckily, they do not see you because you were behind them and you whiffed and you got nothing. Everything is focused on poor Skag here with two guys looming over him, one guy pinning him down. So if you want to try to make it...
Hey,
I
man,
would
this
give you
sounds
a-
like my normal Tuesday night, okay? Don't feel bad for Skag.
So I roll a d6 at advantage, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. That's a 1.
Please save me from these men on top of me.
A 1 and a 3.
Okay. As you trying to make kind of a mad dash towards these guys, and you kind of like barrel your shoulder down, you really want to try to like aim and hit these guys. You just tumble and fall right to your knees, and as that happens,
You just hear the guys squeal, and you know
The
what
guy,
happens
the,
after
the
that.
guy who was standing up turns around and takes one look and just sees that you're right there
Okay.
in front of him.
Okay. Well, for my bonus attack, I want to use, since I kind of tripped, I want to use my surgical strike so I can at least throw some shadowy blades to try to
Okay,
do a little damage to these guys before they do whatever they're going to do next.
sure.
Better
Go right
roll
ahead.
this right, man. I don't want one of those blades hitting me instead.
Well, let's hope my aim's better than my charge was. So this is a D6, but not an advantage.
Not
correct?
advantage. He is looking directly at you.
Okay.
Unless you decide to try to take a shot at the guy who's restraining him. But if
Oh,
that is the
okay.
case, then the other guy's going to get attack of advantage on you. Because
Okay.
you're giving up that angle to take this.
Okay, because with this ability, I throw 2 blades, so I have the choice of either hitting both targets or one target
Right.
with 2
So
blades.
if you decide to go for the one target, you would take an advantage if it's the guy who's restraining Skag.
Okay.
But the guy who's standing up is going to get attack of advantage on you because you've taken focus away and you said, I don't care about this guy. I'm only going to go for him.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm gonna use both attacks on the guy on Skag to try to
Okay.
to get
go
him
right
free.
ahead.
So this will be an advantage then. 2 and a 3. Jesus,
Okay.
I used all my good rolls.
So you manifest your blades, and as you do, you
Hit Skag in the head. 14 vitality count.
as you do try to manifest these and fire them, the guy who's standing up just kind of takes his blade and his weapon and just kind of deflects them and puts them in front of him and just kind of knocks them away.
God, he's a Jedi. I didn't know we were fighting Jedi.
And with that, he's going to attack you with
Okay.
advantage.
Oh boy,
The advantage is that he has a lightsaber. So,
Yeah, I know.
it's gonna need it.
Okay, so he hit. He's got a 6 and a 5, where his advantage shots. So
Okay.
he's going to do 1d6 plus 3. So he does 5 damage, and you are stunned.
Do I get any? I have a ballistic body vest that gives me 3 armor rating. Does that help me at all?
Yes, so it's good. I said it was 5 damage to you, right?
Yes.
Okay, 5 damage minus whatever the armor is.
Okay, so I take just 2, I guess,
so you
then,
take
if it's
2.
my order.
Yeah, it becomes
Okay.
like soak damage. That will always
Okay.
soak up some
now
of it.
is that so? It's an always thing. Like I have +3, so whatever.
So it would apply
let's
to you
say,
as long as they do an attack to you. It doesn't help you at all if you're tumbling down something. You're going to take the damage. But if they do a attack to you, and I tell you it's like 7 damage, you would just minus that armor, so you'd only take 4 if you're at +3.
Okay, cool. So I take 2 damage there.
Yep.
And did you say I'm stunned
And
as
you
well?
are stunned.
Okay.
All right. Skag, what do you want to do? You have a big hulking raider who's breathing heavily and is dripping saliva through the mask. That's just, it's hot and it's sweaty. He smells horrible. And he's not even actually saying any words to you. It's a lot of just groaning and trying to hold you and restrain you down.
I'm not liking this situation. I would like to blow my whistle, please. So that's what I would like to do.
No means no.
Yeah, right. Leave me alone. You're in my bubble. I want to try to push him off and get back on my feet.
Okay, so go ahead and just make a strength roll to try to push
Is
this
that
guy
20
off.
or six?
It's always a d20 if you're doing keywords.
Whoops. Cool. I got 1.
Okay.
So
Maybe it's just that he's got your arms pinned down and it's just the angle, but this guy probably equally weighs just as much as you do. So it's essentially it's almost futile trying to push this guy off you. He's got you pinned, and he's just trying to restrain you down. What else do you want to try to do?
It's the big.
Kick him in the Jimmy.
Moment. I will
Yeah.
say that
I'm
will
gonna
be
try to kick him. I'm gonna try to kick him in his.
Okay,
you know.
then if you want to try to do that, let's try to.
Jump
I will let you decide what you want to. Do you want to use
wanna use my right
athletics
knee.
or dexterity to try to?
Dexterity. I have it.
Okay, so you're gonna roll it with advantage. Go ahead.
All right. Let's see. Hopefully your balls aren't good after this. Now, Once again, it's keyword, so I do. I roll a 20, right?
That's always D20, yes.
Just making sure. All right, let's see. So 17 and 12.
Okay. You tell me how you want to get this
Do
guy
this.
off.
Oh, okay. So in detail,
Whoa.
what happens is as I tried to get him up the first time and I realized I couldn't.
Yeah, just on
I
pure
swiftly-
strength, you were not able to
Yes.
bunch this guy.
So I swiftly, with my right leg, almost as quick as Red Foreman from that 70s show, lifted up. But instead of putting my foot up his ass like in the show, I knee him in the balls and I hit him so hard.
Okay, so as you knee this guy in the nether regions, you just hear him just give out the biggest high pitched groan.
It's essentially what I did is become a gender reveal, and just so you're aware, it's now the gender. It's a girl. So you're welcome.
It becomes the moment that this happens, like every muscle in this person's body just kind of gives way, and it just becomes like it just slides. It just slides right off you. Makes it really easy to kind of like push this raider off of you and all the weight. I will say that it's safe to say this person is stunned. You were on the ground, so you're gonna have to spend your movement to try to get up before you can do anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So are you spending that movement to get up?
Well, yeah. The
Okay.
second,
So then, yeah, that would essentially
falls
be
off,
it
I'm
because the first one you did nothing, and the second one you just pushed him off. You are seeing somebody stand essentially right in front of you, and you see Rev, who is not moving and stunned as well. Otis,
Yes.
you still
two guys.
for the last turn here. You're gonna get advantage on what you want to do. After that, this smoke is gonna be completely dissipated. They're
They're on
still
the ground. Yeah.
prone though for you.
Okay. I want to continue walking up slowly, but you said the smoke's still there until the end of.
Just the end of this
This
turn,
turn
and then
right
it's completely gone.
Okay. I'm gonna walk. It doesn't even matter. I wanted to say something smart, but it don't matter. They're not. They're prone.
They're not going to really hear you.
I'm gonna just continuously walk up to them slowly, and I'm gonna be tapping my carbine in my other hand, and I'm gonna hold my main and my bonus.
Okay.
I gotta recover here.
Just,
Main is 2.
main is
exhaust?
2. A bonus is always 1. For you, have you reloaded at any point? What is your total amount of shots for your carbine?
That I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah. If you want to go in and take a look at that before you do anything.
I'm sure I have to reload that.
Yeah. At this point, I think you have to. Let me roll to see if these guys get out of the frost. Okay. 2 are still frozen. But one is starting to kind of come to, and the frost is kind of dissipating, and he's starting.
Wait, aren't
to kind of move.
there only two
There's
living
3 at
guys?
the top. There's 3 at the top with Otis.
Yeah, but didn't he shatter one of them on the previous turn?
No.
He shattered him with the ice.
Yeah, when you shot him on the ground, and then there's
I
the
shot one of them,
particles.
but there was
yeah,
3
ice
of them.
particles, but they're still alive. I would tell you. If they
Oh,
were
so the one he
expired.
shot didn't die?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
Okay.
it happened earlier. Too.
They're gonna take an attack. The guy's gonna take an attack advantage on you, Rev, because
Okay.
you are stunned. But if you
Mhm.
can, roll a d20 to see if you
Okay.
can shake the stun.
Fell on the ground.
We take it, whatever it is.
Okay, that was a 2 on the ground.
I'm just kidding. Just go ahead.
Oh, okay. Here.
Oh, this time it's a 1.
14 at that time.
Okay.
I don't know if that's good enough.
The stun is starting to fade from you, and you're starting to regain your kind of motor skills and stuff like that. But he's still going to be able to make an attack on you. He's just not going to do it at advantage.
Okay.
Okay. So he's just going to come back down and try to take a shot at you here. And he raises up his kind of like bladed axe here, and he comes swinging it down on you, and you merely just slide to the side super quickly. It just slams into the ground next to you. He just gives out a roar and a grunt, just like he knew that he had you stunned, and you were there for the picking, and just to see you kind of slide out of that really kind of infuriates him.
Nice. Clumsiness pays off for once.
And Skag, what do you want to do?
So
You're not
we have
going
one
to
guy
get
on.
any attack at opportunity at all. He knows you're there. You just saw that him try to take
Oh, I thought you meant like I
at
wouldn't do an
Rev.
attack at all, and I was like,
No.
what?
No.
Well, okay, no. So I already know what I'm gonna do. So since I have the one guy on the ground, I'm gonna call him Mr. Nutless since he's stunned.
Okay.
Essentially, I
Yeah,
would hope
he's
so.
absolutely
Hey,
stunned.
Stunned is an anagram for nuts. So there we go for that one. I'm gonna use a skill called Beyond Fast, and I have to because I have to reload my gun
Reload.
anyway.
Gotcha. And then
Yeah,
you get a still,
Because
still
the
get a
last
shot.
one I had used, yeah. So what I'm gonna do though is, with Beyond Fast, not only can I reload my gun, but I, like you said, fire a single shot in the same turn. I'm going to fire towards the man who is harassing my friend over there.
Oh, who's taking a shot at Rev?
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot at him.
Okay. Interesting enough. You're in an interesting position because you guys are essentially right next to each other, adjacent. So it's kind of like Rev, the guy here who's trying to attack him, and you're essentially right behind him. You're in a situation which is called upper hand. So you're actually going to get advantage on your rolls, and you're going to get advantage on your attacks as well.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Because
Okay,
you're next to him, but he is engaged with Rev.
Oh man, congrats.
So what you're actually going to get out of this is you're going to get, actually I apologize, you're going to get advantage on your attack roll, and then whatever ability you use comes at 1 exhaust reduced. So
Okay,
you're going to
so
do
whatever
it is. If you do something that's 2 exhaust, it only becomes 1 exhaust for you.
What about if it only costs 1 exhaust? Is
It becomes nothing.
So does that count towards this Beyond Fast? Because this Beyond
Yeah,
Fast
you can
skill
use
is
it.
only
You
1
can
exhaust.
use it. Yeah, you can use
Cool.
it.
So
Just
I
know
will
that
use
you
it
don't have to spend
free
any
of charge.
exhaust, free of charge.
Awesome. Okay, so then I'm gonna roll a d6. I got a 3, and then I roll for advantage, right?
Advantage.
5.
Okay, and you hit.
All right, and then my damage would be a 2 plus a 4, so that would be 4, right? I'm gonna go 4 plus a 3, 7. 7
damage. Okay. With this,
Hopefully that's enough to break off the engagement.
with Rev, you kind of see that he kind of comes down and you slide to the side, and as that happens, you see Skag kind of raise up, get up to his ground, point blank, pulls out his revolver, and just barrels a shot. Safe to say, right before he does that, he reloads super quickly and then barrels a shot into the guy's back, driving him 1 space away from you, and onto his knees. He is not prone; he's just driven to his knees, and he is bleeding out.
Nice.
Rev,
Nice shot.
what do you want to do?
Wait, do I get a bonus or no?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
Oh, it's all cool. So wait, so is the guy still alive though?
Yeah, I would tell you if
Okay.
he's dead.
Then I want to do another attack, but this time I'm gonna focus on the guy on the ground. Hopefully, Rev, you can handle the other guy. Let's
Okay,
see
so
the attack that I want to.
you're officially going to turn around and shoot the guy that's on the ground now. Okay.
Yeah, because he's defenseless and
Absolutely.
ballless, and I'm that kind of guy. So I'm gonna do the Tools of Death once again, where I just pinpoint. This time,
Can you shoot him in the balls after you've kicked him?
yeah, this time, yeah, the balls are gone. Let me shoot him in the penis. So,
He's essentially face down. So
ooh, there is a tunnel entrance back there that I could shoot.
where would you like to shoot him at?
I'm gonna go for the back of the head at this point.
So still the head for the stun. Okay.
Still the head, yeah, because if he's already stunned, I want to try to keep him down if I can.
Okay.
Go
Go ahead with advantage. Go ahead and roll.
Okay, so let's see. This one is shoot. 4, 3. So it would have been 4.
Okay. 4 and 3. For some reason or another, you go to fire your gun and click, jam.
You get a new gun, man.
Maybe if we make it out of here. Maybe if we make it out of here, I will.
Fucking kill some.
Okay.
I'm
Oh.
just good at stunning people.
Yeah. Otis.
Oh, real quick, Shogii, do I get any exhaust back on that turn since I didn't do anything, even though I was stunned, or no?
No. If you're stunned, you don't
Okay.
get anything. You receive.
You just basically pass your turn.
Exactly.
Okay.
Otis, you see the two guys still down for this turn.
Cloud
Your
dissipated.
cloud is completely dissipated. The guy who's gotten up to his knees has now found you and has seen you. Yeah, he's got an eye on you and stuff like that. You're only probably about 30 or so feet away. He literally just takes his weapon and he is going to just throw it at you. Just in pure frustration.
You know what's weird is that sounds like a last-ditch effort that Otis himself would have done too.
Yeah.
And with him doing that, you're so stunned at the fact that he's going to do that, and maybe you're even a little bit brazen, that you just sit there and you say, I'm going to take this, and it hits you.
Yep.
I could see just hitting you straight in the face.
Armor
it on.
doesn't matter, right?
What was that?
I have +1 armor. So.
Yeah, okay, so you're gonna do, you don't have any dodge or anything like that?
No. Survivability?
Yeah, that
No.
doesn't help.
Obviously, that didn't kick in. You just stood there.
Okay,
So-
so you're gonna take 6 points of damage minus your soak, and it hits you so hard that it drives you down to the ground. You are stunned.
Oh my god.
Blew
Stunned.
it.
Let's see if these other two guys get up. Oh, wow. And the other two guys are they've just given up. They are just incapable of getting up. They're just like, it's
So we're all.
it's so
I picture us
cold.
all laying there.
Stunned and tired. What is this day?
Rev is coming to. Skag is now fixing his gun for the second time.
Yeah.
With one of the guys who is like on the ground, still holding his nether regions. Otis, who's been fighting 3 guys, is now stunned and on the ground as well. And one guy is standing up. Rev, your choice. The guy that was shot is just dropped to his knee. He's pretty much angered, holding on to his side, and he's kind of like his eyes are skirting between you and Skag, knowing that he's in a kind of a
as
pinch,
I'm
in
fixing
a
my gun,
disadvantaged
I'm just
position.
looking at you, going, "Take him out, take him out."
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to attack the guy who, not the ballless guy, but the
Right.
other guy who swung and missed at me. So I want to attack him
Okay,
with Fury
so
of the Jackal.
he is, because again nothing has changed. You guys still haven't pinched, and he's advantage. You get upper hand, so you get
Oh, okay.
advantage on the attack, and you
Okay.
whatever ability you do comes at 1 less exhaust.
Okay. So Fury of the Jackal, if I use it on a single target, I spend 1 more exhaust to hit twice. Does that mean I roll twice, or do I still roll once to see if I hit or not?
What was that again? Sorry.
Fury of the Jackal, if I hit only 1 target, I can hit them twice if I spend 1 extra exhaust.
It's still
Do I
just
have to-
it's still just 1 roll.
Okay, but it is advantage in this
It
case,
is at
correct?
advantage for yes.
3, 6. Finally. All right.
Well done.
Okay. So
Oh,
I'm gonna hit him, and I'm gonna hit him
Otis
twice.
Otis on the ground kind of hears that. He just goes,
So I cost 3 exhaust, but -1, so 2 exhaust, and I roll a D10 plus 5.
oh wow, okay.
And did you say this is at advantage too? The
No.
damage attack?
No, it's just
Or
a
no?
regular attack. He's
Okay.
not stunned either, so
Okay. All right. So what's the D10? Where's my D10? Here's my D10. Okay, so I did 5, but I hit him twice, so I roll for each attack's
Correct.
damage, correct? Okay, so that's 5 plus 5, so that's 10 plus 8 plus 5, 13.
okay. So
I
But
think
it's
easy
only
the
enough.
number
With-
translates to he's screwed.
With that fury of that jackal, you actually just feel the pulsating energy of just being stunned for the first time in a very, very long time. Like
I'm mad about it, too.
That this guy, for some reason or another, got the best of you. And that's just really not it hasn't been that way for quite some time, and sometimes it in the back of your head it becomes like, am I getting rusty? Am I getting
getting
too
old?
Am I getting too old? Am I getting too attached that I'm trying to protect these guys? That you just unleash everything and just slice this guy in two. There is
Nice.
absolutely nothing as he just splits them like an apple, and they're just kind of like flayed with a nice hot red glow from his naginata and his Calarium blade that just kind of just flays this guy. No problem.
And I say, nobody stuns me.
Or
something.
Skag, you hear this. Skag turns around and just goes, me?
Roll better on another slogan. I don't know.
Work on your line. Work on your line. Oh,
We'll
and I still
get
have
you
a
there.
bonus. I would like to, after I cut this guy, I want to turn and try to throw my surgical strike at the guy who's not
On the ground? Yep. Then you would actually. He is still writhing in pain. He's unable. My rolls are horrible. He's unable to just pull himself together.
This poor guy. This guy's the worst off in this.
Having your
entire
balls explode on you is pretty harmful.
At
It hurts.
at
you
this
know?
at this point, the way it's rolling, that something did break. It's like down that road.
All right, so I just roll a 6. Do I have advantage on
You
this
have
guy?
advantage.
Okay. All right, 5. All right, I got a 5.
Okay, 5 is good enough. You hit. So it's
Okay, so
it's your damage plus you're gonna do an extra d6.
Okay, so D4 plus 2 is this one. So I did 2. So I do 4 plus, you said a 6?
Yes.
A D6? I rolled a 6 there, so 6 plus 6.
Yeah. Okay. As Skag, you're kind of standing there you're fiddling with your gun. You're thinking to yourself, I need to like shoot this guy fast. 2 blades just go zoom, zoom, right into the body next to you, and you just hear him go.
When that happens, I'm actually startled because I wasn't.
Yeah,
ready
you
for
had
it, so I
no
backed
idea
up
like
real quick.
that was going to be the case, and you kind of, as you see him, his like lifeless body just kind of hunch over. You look, you kind of turn around and you see just kind of this flayed in two individual that was kind of right next to you, and it's kind of like half his arm and stuff are kind of like leaning up against your back leg.
Oh, I'm just gonna quickly shake him off, and I'm gonna look at Rev since we're close. I don't have to use this walkie-talkie, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, man, good kill. Next time, can you try to get it a little farther away from me? I don't want blood on my new shoes."
I say, all right, man. I'll try to be cleaner next time.
Otis,
Then I put on my shades.
At
yeah.
any point,
Otis,
Deal with it.
as you're like laying there on the ground,
Mhm.
and you have this kind of like bladed axe in you, and you kind of just, I'm guessing you kind of just pull it to take it out, and you just feel stunned. This guy just kind of like walks right up to you and just kind of stands over to you, and pretty much goes, "They might have got my friends." He goes, "But I'm gonna get you." And he reaches down and grabs the axe. So make a strength check against me to see if you can hold it.
20.
Oh,
Nice.
I rolled a 16.
Oh, wow. That was a tough one.
As he goes down to try to grab it, you just tighten up your grip and you just hold it, and he's just kind of like, "Let it go. Let it go."
No. No.
And you say, I hate Frozen.
Don't break
Let
me
it
right
go.
now.
Let it go. What do you-
So I'm holding on to it with one hand, I assume,
Yes.
like trying to keep it in. I want to reach by my side and shoot him with a restrainer.
Sure,
Nat-
go ahead.
All right. You need the description of that or anything?
Yeah, just tell me what it is.
All right. Release a restraining net to hold target. Save roll breaks. This is in like brackets. Save roll breaks restraint at beginning of turn,
Right.
making it unable to move, and then roll a d20 against target to see if you knock target prone as well.
Okay,
All right,
so
so-
go ahead and make that roll for me.
So this rolls a 6, and then I roll again with a 20.
Yes.
Okay. I rolled a 6,
Oh wow.
and a D20. I rolled a 4.
Okay, so the 6, obviously you're able to slide this mechanism out. He's just focused on trying to, and this little tug
Take
of
the axe
war,
from me. Yep.
and you just kind of hit this guy straight on with this restrainer.
Like a taser or something?
It fires out
It's
like
like a giant net.
restraining net that just
okay.
engulfs him and wraps him up like this, and you just see him kind of like freeze up and just drop completely bound. Okay, so he kind of falls off to the side of you.
And I am
Yeah,
going
and he is unable to make any kind of move at all.
Okay, I'm going to pass my main action like in a... I just wrestled the guy, so...
What was your
I think
D20 roll?
It was a
4.
Yeah,
4.
4. Okay, so he just kind of like leans, he just kind of slams up against like the rock that's next to you. So he's not down, he's just kind of propped up, just standing there.
So, I can pass my main...
balls.
You can, are you trying to move? And just kind of get away? What are you trying to do, like trying to break engagement?
Yeah, I would like to try to like get myself up.
Okay.
Is that the whole? Is that like
That
the
would
whole
be
move action?
that would be half your move.
Okay, and the other half I would like to. I don't want to go too far away, but probably move 20 feet away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rev and Skag roll awareness rolls, please. D20s.
Okay. Does the restrainer let off a noise when it shoots the net off?
No, it does not.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, are you talking about like some kind of like alarm that goes off?
Not an alarm, but like where people around would know.
No, it's literally just like, it's like a toom,
Like a hydraulic.
Yeah, like some kind of
Like a
gas
t-shirt
pressurized.
cannon.
Yeah, some kind of pressurized bolt that gets fired out.
Okay.
My awareness was 8.
And mine was 18.
Okay.
Sorry, quick question. When I have a keyword, does that change the number at all? I have awareness and it has a 3 in
Yeah,
parentheses.
so do I.
Advantage.
No, the 3, anything that has a number, that means that associated with that, if you have that
Reaction.
keyword, it gives you a reaction modifier.
It's a reaction modifier.
Right.
Okay.
So if you have,
is.
does awareness gives you 3, right? So
Yeah.
when you calculate awareness, if you have the keyword, if you calculate reaction time, if you have awareness, it gives you a -3 to reaction time. That's how you get those reaction modifiers.
Okay, so
They're
this doesn't.
associated with the keywords.
So it doesn't apply to my awareness rolls.
No, not at all. It just gives you a reaction modifier if you have said keyword.
Okay, so I rolled an 8.
Okay, and you have an 18.
Nice.
Skag, through it all, you kind of look around, take in your surroundings. You see that you can still figure that there's still some kind of melee that's going up on top with Otis, though you have not heard anything from Otis up to this point. He has not relayed information since you guys have been communicating back and forth with Rev. Rev essentially is set in front of you. He's kind of cleaning off his blade, happy about his last kill. When you look into the distance, and it looks like it could be some kind of mirage out into the distance, but the 4 members of that previous fight of the Gun Reavers of the Blackhearts, you can see have now materialized out into the distance. So they've actually been sitting out there waiting, just waiting
Till we're vulnerable, apparently.
until you're vulnerable to get the perfect opportunity for you.
Okay. Well, obviously, I'm going to alert you, Rev. I'm going to say, hey, I see the 4 guys we lost earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But now what do you want to do? We're in range of the trikes, but we also haven't heard from Otis.
Yeah.
So do you still want to try to ruin him? Or do you want to try to go back up and check? I'm thinking what we could possibly do, because there are 4 people, we don't know what's going on with him, maybe get on one of these vehicles quickly to ride up to him to see where he is, so at least all three of us can band together.
I was wondering the same thing. How steep is this incline? Is it something that we can maybe detach the trike from the trailer and ride it up the hill to try to?
Absolutely, without any problem, especially for you because you have
have
mechanical engineering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Getting that to take out, you take one look at that thing, and that thing is just able to manhandle any kind of terrain.
Yeah, that all-terrain vehicle you said. Okay, so let's do that. Let's detach it from one of the.
You do think that it would have been smarter for them to ride the trikes up instead of climb up, as you take one look at those things. But they were probably just thinking, we want to keep whatever our spoils to ourselves away from these guys in case something bad happened.
Okay, yeah, I agree with Skag. Let's grab one of these trikes. Let's book it up the hill to try to, help Otis out of whatever situation he's got.
Okay.
So we get out
So
of
without
here.
any problem, because the both of you guys are working together, you unhook the trailers off these things. They're just a bunch of just random junk. Nothing that you take a look at that even catches your fancy.
Is there any way that we can sort of like stall the other ones though behind, like maybe like a valve or something that we can just bust up so that they're not
Do you have
usable anymore?
engineering?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do
So
too.
If you
We
both
both
go
do.
ahead and just roll d20s.
Okay.
With proficiency, so advantage. So you're just trying to sabotage the remaining ones.
Yeah. Okay, so I rolled a 10 and a 4. So it's
My highest was a 13.
Okay, so you go over there and you try to sabotage it, and immediately you think to yourself, man, maybe I don't know much about this as I thought. Maybe I know more about like gun mechanics and gun engineering and ballistics. And as you're doing that, Rev is just kind of like ding, ding, ting, ting, ting. And you just see him, you just hear doom. And he just goes, yeah. He goes, I didn't have any problems like sabotaging, shutting down their main iron fusion cores. So these guys aren't going anywhere. It's going to take them like 30, 40 minutes for them to get these back online.
Okay, good. Then let's hop on and let's go.
Okay, so are you taking a hover trike or are you taking a motor tracks?
Which one's faster?
The hover trike is always quicker. So it essentially it uses magnetism to kind of hover.
Good. Let's do that one then for the speed.
Okay. Ken, we can both ride on the same one. Grab, ride on the same one to get up the hill.
A hover track would be a single.
Okay.
The motor tracks, which would be slower, but it's more of the all-terrain vehicle. You can
I think we
get 2 to
should-
3 guys on there.
We should grab a
It's a
hover
bigger,
just so that we
heavy-duty machinery. Hover tracks are really quick, almost like speeder bikes. Like
Okay. Well, I think one of us should take the hover track to get up there faster, and the other one grab the other vehicle.
How
Does that
about
work?
you take the hover so that you could try to get up there faster?
Okay.
Because you do have the advantage, if you needed to, of going into stealth if something's going on there with Otis.
Okay.
I agree, and I can get in close range quicker. So.
Yeah, and so then I will stay
I
behind.
like poor
take one
Otis. They're
of the
coming for you,
sequence.
Otis. They're coming for you. Okay.
So I'll grab on the hover trike, and he'll get on the
Sure.
track to
Okay.
get up there.
Yeah.
Otis, you have no idea what is transpiring below. What do you want to do? You're still looking at this guy who's completely not restrained.
The other two are they down?
One of the guys. Okay, actually, both of the guys now are starting to come to and starting to break free from that
Nice.
cryo. So they're starting to get up on their knees here.
And the other guy's still.
And the other guy's
appears
100%
stunned.
completely restrained.
Got you. I'm gonna know. I noticed the two guys getting up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he
ready
does not-
my
he does not break
carbine.
the restraint at all.
Great. I'm gonna ready my carbine. I'm gonna take 2 shots at each of them.
Okay.
Pump 2 into them.
What are just the simple shots, the survival tactics? Or what are we using?
It's now you're dead, and
Okay.
it's
Sure, go right ahead.
2 shots each.
These are not at advantage because they see you're coming.
Okay, 2, 3, and 4 and 6.
Okay, so 1 hits.
Okay, and the one that hits 1d6, 3, 5. So 5 damage. There you go.
Okay, so you take 1 shot, and it goes errant. It goes wide on you.
Okay.
The second shot you fire drills the guy right into the leg, driving him back down to the ground as he kind of screams out in anguish. You do notice, just because of him being in the cryo freeze for so long, that he seems just sluggish and lethargic.
Huh.
And he almost actually kind of slumps back down into like a kind of curled up prone position as he's just kind of like holding it. The other guy is just so angry now that he's going to throw his axe at you as well.
Oh, sweet.
you
Um,
got a
like
target on you.
You're just
man.
fighting Kratos at this point,
And
man. That's what's going on. Man.
as he does, he hits you with it.
We gotta hurry up and get to our boy, man.
Another one that you're able to avoid here. So he does 4 damage to you.
Okay.
As another one kind of drives into your shoulder, and you just think to yourself, "My God, dude, what is going on?"
Wait,
minus whatever,
was that
obviously your
situation?
armor was. Minus whatever your armor was.
Okay.
So armor,
Oh, that's actually good.
would essentially, in any situation, almost it works. But like, if you're falling down a hill or if you failed on something like a roll, then it wouldn't take effect.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
You're always going to take any kind of damage towards that.
Got
Okay.
environmental damage.
As that's happening, you do hear the sounds of powered up cores as you see coming over the ridge, just kind of zooming and flying over the top, is Rev sitting on a hover trike, and he kind of just lands right next to it and kind of does a nice like flourish and a skid. And then you,
Oh man, I wanted to ram a guy with the thing.
okay, well you hear, we'll see if you want to try
We'll
to do
see.
it. Roll a d20 against me.
Yeah, I want to
Ooh.
try. I want to try to roll on the guy who is getting up and coming at him.
Sure.
Is what I wanted to do.
Nice.
D20.
Grand
you
Theft
said?
Auto him,
Yeah,
man.
my guys have advanced dodge, so
Oh god, I rolled a 3.
It fucking jumped over your head.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
as you come, you kind of use it as a ramp and kind of crest over the top. He kind of turns around, just sees this guy just go
right over
the
his head.
kind of slams on the ground. Of course,
Knock his hat off.
little flourish, little flourish, as well as now
Pulls up to Otis and just goes, "Hop on, loser. We're going shopping."
as Skag on the motor tracks just comes rolling up and just kind of like slowly slams over to
Tank.
the cuffs of the crest like a transport tank. What do you want to do, Otis? Well, here, let me
I
just say,
know
now
that-
that you've seen this guy and this everything is kind of going on. What are you looking at?
Oh, I used a main. I am going to. I'm gonna pass on my bonus, but I want to run, but I'm sure it's not a run. I have 2 axes in my chest. I want to head towards.
Well, you pulled one out. The first one out when you were
the first
fighting
one
with
I
the
pulled
guy.
out.
The other one
Okay.
is just kind of like buried into your,
It's in
your
my
arm.
shoulder.
Yeah, shoulder.
Okay, cool. I look like a badass. I'm gonna get to. I want to get as quickly as I could to Skag driving the. What is it? The motor tread?
Yeah,
Okay.
Track.
the motor tracks.
The motor track. Since I know that can hold a couple people.
Okay, so yeah, without a problem, Skag kind of just rolls up, drives right by the other guy who's taking a look at the hover trike and Rev, who just went over his head. And Skag, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna pull up right next side to Otis, and I'm gonna. Is this something that like I climb into, like it's a literal
No,
tank,
no,
or
it's something
can
that
he
you
see me?
something that you ride.
So he can see me. So then I'm gonna pull up right next to him, and the first thing I'm gonna say is, "You look like a carnival dartboard with those axes in you. Get on."
Come on.
I'm gonna reach out my hand towards him, and I'm gonna try to lift him onto this machine vehicle.
Okay. Without any problem, you kind of have to give him a little bit of a tug. He's pretty battered and been beaten up a bit here, and you kind of
I mean, it's
slide.
pretty visible.
Yeah, you kind of
There's
slide him
axes
up.
in his body.
He pulls out the axe out of his arm. That's a visible wound, and he's bleeding here. What do you guys want to do as a team? now that you
So
have
guys,
it.
this has been
You
a
do-
long day. I say we get out of here.
You do, yeah. Rev,
I'd say
Rev, and
we-
Skag know what is below
Yeah, we got what are those guys called?
the Black
The
Hearts.
Gun Reavers.
Yeah, we got more black hunters on the way. I say we leave these guys to fight it out and get out of here.
I think I agree. I think we should try to get to like maybe the nearest town or something, see if we could rest, and then maybe up our supply. What do you guys think?
Well, the town is it's like half a day away, right? Because it took us
Yeah.
about a half a day to get here.
If you're trying to go back to anything
But
where you guys are at, the closest
initially-
is always Canberran for you.
Well, I was to say initially we only came out here for that mission, anyways. That turned sour. So
Yeah.
besides these guys out here, I don't know what else is holding us here. We could possibly go back to town, rest up, and see if there's any news of anything else going on.
Otis?
There's one little problem here. We were in Canberran. They're obviously looking for me because of Ridley. Should we go back there?
There's no other cities or towns like forged ahead that we could go to.
The only other place I know about is that mine we were headed out to. If we want to go to that mine and hole up, we can see what's in there.
I think that's our best bet.
Yeah,
then. Might
That's
as well.
our best bet.
And if that, then at least we got a choke point that we can deal with
Yeah.
these guys. That's my suggestion.
Okay, so you guys just want to. You guys okay with
I
just making a
slapped-
B run for that mine shaft that was there?
Slap Skag on the shoulder and let's go.
Let's
And
do
with
it.
that,
Head to the mine.
I drive the tank.
Without any kind of hitches or stuff like that, the hover trike takes off in a blur, just leaving the raider behind, just screaming and yelling at you for abandoning a battlefield, as the motor tracks with a battered and beaten Skag and Otis kind of takes off after him. He decided to make the beeline back down into the valley, into the northern corner where you saw that initial mine shaft that had been abandoned by a mining company probably years ago, that really was making you believe was an active one.
But we were fooled by how
You were
active this
fooled-
mine
you were
was.
fooled out
Yeah,
that,
bamboozled.
mainly because it was a good front and it was out someplace far away from any other kind of
From the
prying
city,
eyes
okay.
and
Yeah,
cities.
Ridley.
Damn you, Ridley.
As you kind of do this
Paul
from
Giamatti.
to your west, you can see the Black Hearts now moving towards you. And interesting enough, something you didn't notice before, maybe because they were farther into the distance and because they now come back, is they're riding cyber steeds. So they're not on foot. As they're charging towards you, as they see you make your way towards the abandoned mine shaft. As you do reach it, you do notice that this abandoned mine shaft is, and the abandoned camp around it, is their old abandoned tents and huts that were here that were obviously some kind of makeshift for the mining company that was there prior. As you reach a very, very large, it almost looks like 25 feet opening into this mine shaft, into the deep darkness. As you decide to go in full board and take your vehicles in there and try to hide into the darkness, we will leave our session there for tonight.
There we go.
Sounds good.
And next week, you will see what you guys going to be up against with the Blackhearts, as well as being held up in the mine shaft there, okay?
Nice. We're going dungeon diving, guys.
Oh man, I am not ready for that.
So it's a never-ending fight. It's like, do we ever get to rest to recover?
I know. That's why I was like, I want to go to town. I want to buy like ammo and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just shot all my shots there.
Hey, we'll
Yeah.
find some supplies in the mine, man. We'll find some supplies.
Okay. Well, just quickly, let me just do the outro to this so everybody
Okay.
who will be watching this on YouTube, we thank you very much for tuning in. There'll be a few more of these that you'll be able to watch on YouTube before we'll actually be streaming all this live. It's either going to be a Friday night or a Saturday night. We're not exactly sure yet. We'll give you more information on that. You can follow me on Mr. Shogii 3000, and there'll be more information on it. Other than that, I want to thank this amazing cast for episode number 2 of Here on the Wastes. You guys were awesome as usual. It's interesting to see a group of guys who decide that they don't need to talk about anything. or to even try to talk their way out of anything. They just
Oh,
need
no.
to fight everything.
I was
Classic
wondering
case of low level.
when I said to Otis, "Hey,
The low level
I'll leave
blues.
it
You
to
just
you."
fight
Yep.
everything, right?
Yep.
like we talk these guys out, now let's kill them, shoot them.
But other than that, we appreciate you guys all tuning in and checking us out. Again, this show is called Here on the Wastes. It is based on the game called Horizons Unknown. My name is Scott Shogii Moses. Ryan, you can always find him on twitch.tv/Ran118. He's an awesome streamer. You can always find Burger, aka David, who's on Burger_TV. TV.
Yep.
He's an awesome streamer as well. Once he gets his computer running again, because we need to venture back to Tobacco Road. And then my really good friend Eli, who's also my son, who's really not my son.
And
He is the son.
I'm not on Twitch. I'm just always on Pornhub. I get yelled at about it a lot. I need to learn to delete my browser history. Sorry, Dad.
Nice.
Not a
Nice.
problem. We appreciate it, guys. And until we see you guys again, thanks a lot for everything.